Man, I love this song so much. What is up? Happy Tuesday. Apologies for us being live later than usual. Basically, I had some things I needed to sort out in prep for KPMM, as well as catching up on some other things behind the scenes. And then I wasn't feeling too well. I was a little bit worried we wouldn't be able to do it, but we aimed for after dinner, and we made it. So we are live for a few hours, probably live for like 4, maybe 5 hours, going over some pub games. We are just 3 days away from a return to competitive content every single weekday on this channel. That's right, KPMM starting up on Friday. We've already got a decent amount of people signing up. I think there's still a few slots remaining to be filled, and some noteworthy names that we usually sign up that we haven't actually seen sign up yet. So we'll see how that goes. But I think we've got like Demi in there, Anatan's in there, B's in there, Gully's in there. I've got Lash, Miyamaika, Felisberto, Kiliardi, Sassy, Scatterbrain, Jiff, Hussein, our lad, always going for the grind. MSN's in there, Voldemar, GUA, Wham, Mahodo, Numidon. Pretty decent week. I know we got a few people missing there, so we have to keep pushing to get those signed up. But I wonder if we'll ever get Poppy Paw back on these. That'd be really cool to see. I think he's quite busy, right? He's got like a real life job, man. So he's not able to necessarily appear as often. I'd love to get someone like Ravane in there, actually. I don't know like if Ravane would be interested in playing in those. Because he does play like a decent number of civs now, I want to say. Like he's become a little bit more diverse, right? So yeah, we'll see. It would be cool to see him in there. I wouldn't expect CSO to sign up. I know he's quite busy a lot of the time. But Louis was a bit of a shock that hasn't signed up yet. So we'll see if we can fix that. Also... Oh, that's just reminded me of someone else who absolutely needs to sign up. As soon as he's asking me about it, I better message him. Maybe I'll message the other guy later. But yeah, so we've got a decent amount of names. I believe there's a really cool game happening live on the ladder right now, so that's a cool way to start off. Need to find Age of Empires 4 because I like last night went on a bender playing several different games. I tried out a few things like the Hell Clock. I don't know if you guys have seen that game. It's like a roguelike Diablo type game. Pretty cool. I actually had a lot of fun with that. But like for those that haven't seen it, the catch with it is you go on the run, you level up your guy, and you have a clock, right? And then when the clock goes down to 0, your guy just dies, right? So there's no... I don't know if there's actually a completion point, a true completion point. But the whole idea is you die, and then your guy would have leveled up with new gear, so then you equip that gear, you up your skills, then you go again. Really cool game, actually. Really enjoyed it. Been having some fun with that. And what's up, Doncon? Thank you very much. KPM is about to be wild after contract renewal. Good luck this year. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be exciting to get back to it. Hopefully, continued growth for the channel. I know it's been a little bit of a quieter summer, I want to say. When it comes to like the stream directory, as well as like obviously because not doing KPMM, people are like, oh, pub games, what do you do? Maybe I don't know why though. Like the pub games, some of the pub games we've had in the last few days have been like they've been on par with tournament games. To be honest, they've been that good. Like that Numidon Wham one the other day. Oh my god, that was incredible. That game delivered. That game slapped. But I want to watch these two lads slap each other about. Let me see if we can find them. I think I eyeballed, if I'm not mistaken, was it a core game? I think it was, yeah. Numidon versus core. Wait, is it the two broken civs as well? I think it is. I think it's Chinese versus Lancaster. Oh, that's gonna be a fun one. Yeah, we've got like the two broken civs. Can I link the mouse pad? Oh, mate, you can't get it. It was you can't get it. You can't have it. So this mouse pad. It's a limited edition run. So this was for the Race to World First at Major Sale. Sorry, now I gotta put it back in position. Sorry, people who get motion sick. So yeah, it's unfortunately it's not sold anymore. Oh my god, that's too close. Sorry, mate. Yeah, it's pretty sick. I have like another one. I don't know where. Give me a second. I think I must have put the other one away upstairs or something. But like I've got one in black and red as well. So like you've got the Imidrisil tree, but then you've also got one that's like lava and everything. But that was from the Nifta people. So that like I got them from the Race to War First, which I was cast a full method for. Ugh. There you go. Going on vacay on Friday? No! Dude, you're fired. Like, wait. What do you mean your 60 streak comes to an end? Don't you have roaming data? That's the perfect holiday. Just... the perfect holiday is modding my Twitch. Nah, kidding. Have fun though, man. You've earned it. You're a good mod. Now I'm gonna have to replace you. I don't know how. I'll have to find a way. What a legend. But yeah. Hope you have a good time. Where you going? I'm off on a holiday with the family to Greece in September. So final week of September, I'll be off for a week. Taking the family on holiday for Ezra's birthday, because his birthday, he was born at the end of September. So we'll be out of the country. I don't know. I might like pop a stream up on one of the days, like an RL stream. I haven't decided yet. Ah, large family gathering. Got it. I'm having to tolerate some of the family going with us. Yeah. Where are you coming? I can't remember. It's one of the islands. Emma booked it all with my money. That's the relationship, pretty much. You know, I earn the money, she spends it. Every time, like, I know when she spends it as well. Like, instinctively, like, I get like a twinging feeling, like a pain. Almost like a phantom limb of the money I once had. Zanti? Was it called? Yeah, it was called Zanti, wasn't it? Or, wait, don't you mean, isn't Zakynthos, right? Which is one of the ones in the Ionian. Yeah, it's in the Ionian Sea. So hold on a second, probably... So you guys can, like, DOS me. You can, like, hunt me down in real life. I believe it's this one. So they're right there. I think it's Zakynthos. That's what came up when I entered Zanti anyway. Yeah, so it's this place. Yeah, it's pretty. A little bit of R&R. Emma's not really much of an explorer. I actually don't mind the exploration holidays. I'm in the history nerd, right? So like I done Athens a few years ago. Quite a few years ago now, actually. And I went to the Acropolis and all that kind of stuff. But like Emma would suck for that. Also, it's like you can't really do Acropolis with kids. Not with like tiny kids. Anyone who's been to Acropolis understands why. Haven't gone yet, but I want to. Yeah, it's worth doing. Like I think the thing is like it's almost like this. The better value is probably staying on one of the islands and then traveling to Athens for the day, right? So if you're there for the week, like travel once or twice, because like the thing with Athens is it's very much, it's just this big bloated sea around really cool like ruins historically, right? So I think it's like much better to just go there, check that stuff out, and then be on like one of the islands or whatever, right? So you have your R&R days and you have your exploration days. Because otherwise, like I think what you do if you're in Athens is you basically would end up traveling out to the island on certain days anyway. So it's just like, which way around do you want to do it? Do you want to be like, when you want to have a relaxation day, do you already want to be in place on the island? Or like vice versa? All right, anyway. Let's get into a fun one. It's Battle of the Broken Civs. You hear me say that a lot, but this truly feels like the matchup. That's right, Battle of the Broken in pub games and Battle of the Broken in pro games with two well-known players at the helm. That's right, Core on the Chinese going up against Numidon, who I'm losing count of the amount of Lancaster Gorge games I am casting for this guy. I just realized as we went on it, actually. And we got Gorge again, and I'm like, isn't this the third time we've cast Numidon in 2 days on this map? It's ridiculous. I think it's against Wham twice, and now against Core. Oh my god. Actually, I think there was someone else we caught him against. Gonna be interesting to see how this one plays out, though. Like, China versus Lancaster is not a matchup we actually ever see right now because, well, one of them is banned all the time in pro play. And the other, I don't know, man. I feel like most players probably don't want to grind it out too hard other than Numidon. I feel like not too many people have actually been hard pounding Lancaster on the ladder as much from what I've been seeing. But the interesting part is like Core going for China. I wonder if he's actually trying to maybe inflate his elo for seeding for qualifiers. I don't know if Core's going to be coming back to like trying to aspire to be a pro or whatever, right? But like, I don't think as a practice logic, there is much value in China right now, considering it is just simply not getting through the ban phase of whatever format you're using on a tournament. Like this Civ, I think for the last, I want to say 3 tournaments maybe, has been the most banned Civ. Definitely the last 2, if I'm not mistaken. I think EGC Masters Summers towards the tail end, it saw more bans than Rus. And then with the LAN that just happened in Denmark, China was the only Civ banned in every single series by both players. Just let that sink in. This Civ is still real good, and this is a really interesting opening. Numidon has gone for the Dark Age rush that we see so often at Lancaster. But the response, well, has been met with aggression here. China coming in with their own spearmen. A great play with this Civ. Remember, China is fantastic at anti-spear play because of supervision, right? So they delay their setup compared to other Civs because they need to get the Imperial Official out first. But then once they have that, they're able to ramp up production at a ridiculous pace. It looks like that is going to be enough to deter Numidon. It's not so bad that you had to go spears. This is going to allow him to protect into the Pro Scouts play afterwards if that's the intent. And actually, like, this is the other thing now. You can force Numidon to reinvest if you're quick about this. Because now, you know, if Numidon decides, oh man, I don't need to add in more spearmen, he can get blocked on the gold or the stone, right? His whole plan with, like, the Lancaster Castle can flop. Has he built it close enough? He has. Okay, so that's a nice placement. But the stone is not for free now. Like, this is actually a really big problem. You have got short bows, but you don't want to have to kill 3 spearmen using short bows. That's a really bad plan. So yeah, rough position now for Nimu Core. Well, let me just start poking at it. He's forcing the short bows. It's not a bad idea to do this. It does slow down the build speed for your opponent quite a bit. But I think most important for Core is just keep the spears alive. Because if the spears are alive, then more value as he's seeing over here. Like, the stone is king. You block the stone, you block the plan. Which means what? As Nimu, you're probably going to have to add in more spearmen, or you're going to have to go for yeoman. And going yeoman at the beginning of Feudal Age feels horrible. So he's just going to sell for more spears. Core, of course, needs to catch up now. There's no point in him trying to invest more spears, because if he was going to do it, he would have already done it, right? But the cool thing about this is Core knows by going 3 spearmen, having more spears than his opponent, he knows Numidon has to build additional. A little bit surprised he went up to 4, mind you. It might be that Numidon is trying to counter-offensive after this. Because with the short bows, 3 spears should in theory be good enough. I guess it just gives him a more dominant victory. You're seeing Core's trying to get Q, but Numidon, love this, is having none of it. He's just targeting pretty much the full HP spearman each time, expecting the turnaround. Pretty crafty, actually. Yeah, comes in again. Like, Core thinks he's being smart about this, but it's just a raw numbers game that Numidon's played well. Core now reinvesting. So let's look at the spawn. What's the desirables here? The stone and gold we already mentioned is pretty loose for Lancaster. It's not a great spawn. It could be exposed and attacked. On the other side, Core has got a deer really close to the forward side of his base. Deer and boar in the corner. Like, there is a world in which you can play pocket economy. I'm just not really expecting it here. Like, we've already got 2 on gold as the tech up comes in. So hardened, plus we'll be able to afford another tax man. And he's going to have the taxation, remember. He's already been generating off the racks and the mill. Yeah, like, even though usually we see 3 on goal for a Pro Scout's timing, the thing you have to keep in mind is that Core has had a taxman from the very start, whereas a lot of the time when we see 3 on gold, it's when we're getting those 2, those 0 rather Imperial Official into 2 rushed opening. Whereas this was a prolonged Dark Age, so the macro is a little bit different. Seems like he might be threatened by the spears here, by the way. He's overgathering on wood, so this should be an archery range. Yeah, there we go, coming in now. So he's going to look to buffer that away. Still, the 2 on gold continue. Like, this is way too much gold just for taxmen. So either he's forgotten about it, or we should be seeing PS. The cool thing about going archers, we already highlighted how loose this stone is. So now all of a sudden, if you're Numidon, you're going to have to start contemplating Hobblars. Which isn't too bad of an idea. Like, you already have vein control with the Lancaster Castle. And hobbies are quite impressive in their ability to scale quickly. You just have to be very careful. They're incredibly fragile. It's kind of like the Sipahi conundrum where, hey, man, like this unit can die real easily. But the difference is with Sipahi, you're like, yeah, but it's worth the risk. With Hobblars, it's almost like your only way of making it work is building to the point where you don't care if they die. Which sounds really mean and inhumane. You monster. Also, wait, where'd the Last Samurai Great Everything come from? Was I talking about Last Samurai this stream? I think I was talking about last stream. Oh, the OSTs at the start. You know what? I just realized. I don't think I've ever watched Last Samurai from start to finish. I've only seen clips. Same with Last of the Mohicans, actually. Something about Last that I just don't like, man. Gets me emotional. Anyway. Almost as emotional as that guy was yesterday about the Lancaster picks. I wonder if he's going to be back today. That guy was not happy, man. Chat might remember him. He's like, why is he even trying? He's up against Lancaster. Well, I'd love to see his opinion on this one. Why is he even trying? He's up against China, man. And there's the Pro Scouts, as expected. I'm emotional, don't be rude, man. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Why are you suggesting that I'm being rude? That's not making me emotional, man. Uh-oh, the Yeoman coming out. Someone's definitely going to get emotional about this. Double archery range. Only 3 manas, though. Considering that Core just sidestepped into Pro Scouts, like, there is a timing in mind here for Numi that makes sense. Just got to be careful to keep the spin pump going, because as he understands, like, if it's Pro Scouts, his opponent has Horseman access anyway. And this is, like, the importance of it, right? Like, if you don't actually have protection for those Yeomen, think about how bad you feel, like, when you're playing Lombos, and because you didn't build enough spears, you lose Lombos. This is worse. Because Yeomen cost more. And although they're better at, like, self-sustaining, you know, they can kite better themselves than Longbows, they also, like, have less range, less damage. So it's, like, kind of a double-edged sword in that regard. You know, greater independence, but also just more painful to lose, considering they cost 5 more resources than Longbows do. Great start there. Gets a free pick on an archer. Core is backed off entirely, which suggests he's going to be just hunkering down for full macro. I mean, you got to do something with this wood, though. We're sitting at 450 wood now. I think Core's about to, what, reincarnate as a beaver. Good lord. Archer's on the back. Wait. Okay, he will get the one in the end. Shortbows are going to come out, though. That's still 2 worker kills. I mean, that's worth it for Core. The idle time, plus the fact he gets 2 worker kills, definitely makes this a decent exchange. Numidon now needs a counter-offensive. He didn't come all the way home, but he partially did, actually. Like, he kept the spears forward, but brought the Yeoman back. That's not a good look. He is buying time to get into the undermesh, and that is something that Core is now lacking, and I think he'll probably lack it a bit longer, considering that he hasn't got as many archers now. Yeah, a little bit of a scattering of resources here, actually, for Core. The wood, the gold. Was he just thinking of going castle? No undermesh is going to be a really big problem here, folks. Numidon just queued up the steel arrow. A little bit surprised he went undermesh first. But I guess he doesn't want to try to beat Horseman with Yeoman mass. He's just thinking of, like, the undermesh value to protect the spears, maybe? I don't know. His comp looks really weird, actually, with the timings. Because if you were always planning to go mass Yeoman, wouldn't it have made so much more sense to be Steel Arrow first? I guess he was expecting Core to add in a lot more archers than he has. Because Core has, like, duck all archers. He has, however, got a really good timing coming in for Steeled Arrow with the supervision. Numidon is still 24 seconds out. That does mean that Numu's going to have a window. The problem is there's nothing to actually punt at here, right? Like, you can kill a village, but the value of Pro Scouts is always in the fact that you aren't able to dive your opponent when they have it. That's pretty cool from Numu, though. Moves out for the boar in the corner. Great spawn for it as well. Lots of wood here afterwards, so you can just stick around. And wood is going to be valuable here if he continues the yeoman strat anyway. Like, half the cost of these things is wood. Yos. I love that Numidon's always fishing. Not great trade there. Just took more damage than he dealt. The horsemen are roaming. That's going to force a reinvestment from Numu. So horsemen following up by Hobbler. And then on top of that, he's adding in the additional spears. So the reason he's going hobbies here, like, Hobblers are fantastic when you get to TC diving point. Like, obviously, because there's archers, that's level 1 to the reason. But the other thing is Hobblers are actually very efficient tanks for TC dives. They have more ranged armor than standard horsemen. And yes, they have less HP, but when you're up against strictly range fire, actually Hobblers last kind of as long as horsemen, almost. Right, like if it's going to take at least 25 shots to kill, then the extra armor was worth it. Knock at the door here, but this is one problem with Lancaster that they share with the originative English. You can't kill horsemen in these type of positions, so he has to wall himself in. Reinforcements are rallying over, but wait, is he sending yeomen? Okay. Numidon seems to be lacking spear production, or maybe just placement. Yes, one spear will kill these horsemen, because as we know, spears are OP. Wait a second. Horsemen are OP? I mean, they did just kill the counter unit to them. The facts do speak for themselves. Core now with the Barbican. I think that makes sense, though. Like, you're either up against castle timing, you're up against an amassment of manas. Either way, you're falling behind. And it's not like it really hurts your timing too much on getting castle as well. Like, that's just how good China is at this type of transition. You can see he's almost ready to pull the trigger on another age up. Well, the spearmen are still trading abhorrently. I was going to just say poorly. It didn't really feel like it done enough justice. Was that 4 spearmen for 1 horseman? All right, guys. Horsemen are OP. There we go. That's the takeaway story. They actually might be OP in this game because we've got King's College coming in. That does offer up the option to improve the Hobblers to omnipotent degrees. Yeah, not to mention the value of the knights. Like, usually when China rushes into castle age, they look for a knight switch. You can play knights as Lancaster and actually do a better job of it. Cool. It's just kind of unfortunate for him, like, the ball spawns like this so often, right? Like, all the way in the corner. I mean, it happened for him as well, so he has merits to it as well. But it just makes raiding a lot harder. I would say range mass does really well in these type of positions. Like, for example, this type of ball location against Yeoman, there's probably nowhere you can really hide if you wall it into the corner. Okay, so Core, knowing what he's up against here, like, it's Yeoman, it's probably never going to change from Yeoman. It's not like Numidon is going to say, oh, I'm not even going to upgrade 28 yet. So you have to address that threat. He did go Clock Tower. Clock Tower is a really good way of dealing with that type of threat, but the problem is actually getting the army to stay still. The biggest problem you run into when you're trying to deal with these Yeoman masses, they're very, very mobile. They can dodge the Nesta B shots. They can basically just avoid them entirely while raiding. So, like, we won't likely see Nesta Bs just yet. I like that he's sticking to Horsemen as a counterplay. But I am a little bit worried, man. Like, I feel like Knights actually beats everything you're doing right now. There's a bit of a lull moment right now from Core. Even the spear upgrades. So Numidon probably spears Knights is what he's looking for. Double melee can get a little bit dicey sometimes, but I think this is fine because he's already got so many Yeomen to work with. Army's getting marching across Core. Looking to go on the offensive before the mana spam gets a little bit too good here. Horsemen are going to jump in. The Yeomen need to back away. They aren't upgraded yet, and they're up against veteran horsemen. Knights start to arrive. They need to hold on to the choke points. Unable to do so, though. Instead, they're going to get swarmed and surrounded. One by one, they fall. There's a big issue here. These Knights, there's not enough of them. And on top of that, he doesn't have the Undermesh too. Yeomen did just get upgraded. They've got the Steel Arrow too. Horsemen have broken off from the archers. So Court, great dive here, but Numidon should be able to stabilize in his own base. Just kind of a mucky affair, though. Spinman coming in just to scare off the last of the horsemen. The Yeoman count is still good compared to the archers. The Numidon was not ready for this timing. No, the choice to try and scale Knights instead of maybe just adding in some Hobblars there to stabilize the front side of the fight. Maybe a bit questionable. Especially like now that he's starting to lose a few of those Yos. Still, Core did just throw away all of the archers. Was this a little bit of an overcommitment? I feel like he done really well at the start of this. And then if you just steer off, maybe head towards the ball, you're in a good position. But this relentless dive, you know, the manas, I think they get memed on in the mid game a lot. They're still very good. 10 damage per strike. Especially when you're diving with archers. Like, these things don't have much armor to speak of. So yeah, ultimately, punishment given here. As both the armies actually get pretty heavily reset. However, Core did get something out of this, a timing. It's going to be relics galore. Yeah, he's after all of them. 2 already on the way home. 2 more that are easily attainable here. The only one that I doubt he'll be able to get is the one right next to Numidon's base. He did just tip him off, though. Did you guys notice that? Core, he walked on the sacred site. And he's about to do it again. Oops. Okay, so maybe not 4 relics, but that's his own fault. Yeah, I'm gonna blow your guys' minds. Ready? Core could have just went around this way. And it never would have been known. Oops. Lance is now arriving for Core. Numidon, did he go for Collar of Esses? He did not. Okay, this is a little bit worrisome then. So he's going to have to just pivot into Spears. I mean, in fairness, Spears, Yeoman does get you a mass quickly. Also, it lets your Knights then go raiding. Behind this, Numidon is getting ready to be greedy again, by the way. He's tapped 4k gold already. That feels kind of crazy. I don't feel like he even built that many Knights. Maybe a shift out now to the 8k. Double outpost already in place to protect him. Knights are diving into the farm area, but cool. He's not deep in that farm. No. Granary 1 online. That's it. In clash, we've got Monk shenanigans. Not going to work out. Yeah, I don't know, man. Numidon, he's trying to have his cake and eat it here. Like, he's trying to raid and win a direct engagement. That's pretty ambitious. You know, choose one. So here's the thing, guys. It's a triangle. This is one of those triangle situations. You can all in your enemy with the main fight. You can raid. You can win game. Pick 2. You see the problem now? Because, like, what just happened there? He didn't really get much damage done against Song, right? I think he killed, was it 2 workers off that dive? And then on top of that, his main army wasn't able to, like, square off a course. So Core will still end up getting 4 relics now because of this. He's got Granary transition underway. Like, technically, this is the weak point. Was now. And Core, it doesn't really look like he's very weak after that. Wait, is he legit going for 5? Alright. I was about to say, if he gets away with that, something is sorely wrong in this game. So yeah, he will get blocked on the 5th. Numidon's investment into a monastery will eventually pay off. Level 3. Now I'm looking at level 2 on the manas, so he's going to have the extra 3 going up to 9 soon. I think we might just see a hunker down now. This is natural mid-state gorge. We see it a lot of the time, where people just kind of reach the stage where it's way too much effort to break them. Like, normally, the time where you could break them is before they do stuff like this. Right? When they've hunkered down with multiple outposts on the gold, for example, you're just kind of, like, shrugging and saying it's not worth it. And for core, you know, he's in the middle of a farm transition anyway. But Numidon's position on the map feels really shaky, which is why he's not counter-offensing. It's just too many knights. So, like, we'll probably have a stalemate and a deck. And that's right, KPMM coming back soon. $20,000 strong. That's a big number. It's a much better, much more rounded number than 9,000, isn't it? Me gusta. Stop actively playing AoE4 when you stop the streams. I mean, we've always been streaming. It's just KPMM took a break. We were still active, though. Are you even a real KPMM fan if you don't just watch the KPP streams? Wait, KPP. That sounds like something they put, like a different website. Anyway. Are we going to be seeing an age up out of Numu soon? Kind of feels like Core is trying to keep him away from it. With the Nesta Bees coming in, the Knight Mass as it is, I mean, Knights are really powerful at this point in the game. There's a massive difference between 9k and 20k. No, that's not true, really, is it? The difference is 1. Can Core actually break this? I guess if he gets 5 Nesta Bees, 6 Nesta Bees, there is logic in his timing here. Oh my god, there's about to be a lot more of those yeomen, though. Shire Levy has been activated 20 seconds out. Reminder, this is going to add in an additional 17 bows to the army, taking Numidon up to 60 plus. Cool. Wants to do something about that. He marches in. This timing could be perfect. Nesta Bee shots coming through. But Numidon, he has got the rally point in the right location. Sync shot comes out. Decent hit. Second wave's going to be there. Core, a little bit confused in the panic. Just lost about 10. Maybe more archers there. Lance is now trying to break off on the flank. The spearman count needs to get up fast here. The Nesta Bees are being ignored for now, but the Knights are trying to dive in. They are going to break through. Takes a long time to kill 180 HP here, though. Especially with the archers being good enough to club you down. Numidon, mainly left with just archers now. But Core only has Nesta Bees. Yeah, there's practically nothing left of the main army here. Numidon, just a good spread. Palatable in his position here. I think the big problem for Core is the Nesta Bees did not get deep enough, fast enough. And ultimately left at moments like this, the sync shots from Numidon. This guy is styling right now with yeoman strategies. Yeah, I mean, I've seen more on-point skill shots out of him with Lancaster than I've seen out of the rest of the community combined for the last 2 weeks. This guy is on fire with this Civ right now. Like, that was sick leverage of that ability. The timing on it as well, it's also just the false sense of security. Something that's really underrated is the idea of just delaying using all the shots. You saw what he done there. He scattered the first 16 from the newly rallied troops, and then from the north side, he brings in the full convergence of bowmen, right? Like, he doesn't just blow it all in one shot, because if he does that and his opponent's dodging, oof. But if you scatter it a little bit, your opponent always has to be weaving and dodging. You put a lot more onus on him to have to dodge and pay attention to the fights. Numidon, I mean, dude, this ability. Can we just be real about what it just done? It just turned everything. That timing, sync shot plus the Shire Levy, wiped an army of equal size. Great temperament by Numidon, and Core just punished for that urgent rush into the enemy base. Incredible. No. Yeah, I'm moving across the field. Only negative here is he needs to get break-in. Sync shot! Woo! Right in the crown jewels. Another 10 down. I can already just hear Core molding about this. Oh my god. He's getting caught standing still. Course needs to stop reaching for the sheesh pipe. Every time he does, Numidon presses Q. Oh dear lord. Now the farms are open. The Hobbler's come in. Brilliantly done. He has got the hill training, which makes it so easy to snipe Siege. Hobby's also just going to absorb a lot of the archer shots. Core looks dead. I don't really know how he gets out of this. Like, if the farms get idled out, another one! Oh my god. Core with the reaction speed of a goldfish. Hey, with APM like this, he might be declared legally dead. That's ridiculous. That's the third time he's just been caught standing there against the ability. Core now trying to run for his life. I mean, he's 2 TC, but the problem here is, like, where do you get food now? Numidon is in a perfect position to end this game. Just look at the food. There's none in reserve. There's no food gatherers at all. There is nothing left of the German. Nimi, kill him over here as well. I mean, I think this is Core's APM challenge. We had Donati's 60 APM. Core at this point, we're at, like, I think we've just gotten up from the keyboard and walked away. This is brutal, man. What do you do? I mean, if Numidon just pivots into some rams, he breaks all this now. He's also getting ready for Imperial. Holy crap. That is insane. Hobbler's now raiding onto the tree line. I mean, Core is in shambles. What does he do? Build another farm area elsewhere? I think as long as Numidon just camps this, I don't see a world in which Core can come back in. I mean, maybe Nesta Bees, but like your opponent already has Hobbler. Remember, Hobbler are super effective against Nesta Bees because of this hill training. Hill training essentially kind of offsets the value of Clock Tower, right? Because you're buffing your damage so much on the initial charge. Instead of doing 18 damage, you do 40 damage on that initial strike. And a Nesta Bees has 180 HP. So 5 Hobblers connect, Nesta Bees gone. Castle Edge gone. Numidon on his way into him. I wonder, is he maybe being too greedy hunting? Because, like, these farms don't actually look that well guarded now. And Core has just bought a bunch of food. Yeah, he's moving back now. He's got knights coming out. With supervision, they'll be quick enough here. Tech up completes. However, look at what he found. Hobbler's not going to be the quickest killers of textile workers. But Core's entire villager lead is gone. He's down to 88. He was like, what, 20, 25 ahead? I think actually close to 30, if I remember correctly. Numidon getting swept aside, though. And I mean, this is the price of the tech up. Numidon, instead of just committing an extra wave onto the farms to end the game, he chose greed. It has given a moment of reprieve for Core. Core, who, remember, he's got most of the farmland set up. It's 2 granaries out the free. 25 farms, not a bad position to be in. And back active again, but he's got a lot of catching up to do. Quick repair it before they come back and take it again. Castle drop now from Numu. What? I mean, it doesn't cover the gold, right? But it gives you a staging point. More villages on the way. Numidon, he's like, I mean, my gold looks good, but yours is delicious. Not the end of the world when it comes to gold access. Core does still have the 4K. I mean, this would be a crazy comeback if he can find a way. How do you do this, though? It feels difficult. Like, Elite Army Tactics is already on the way for Nimu. He's already going for ranged armor free. Nesta B's defense is an understandable strategy here. I think Nimu's maybe sleeping on Hobbler, actually, to be honest with you. Hobbler at this stage are critically underrated. Like, the way they scale is phenomenal. Especially if you're up against Siege and you're threatened by it, you just go for the military tactics training, and they kill everything. Like, we've seen a lot of Castle Age Hobbler strats, but Can be just as meaningful and impactful in the imp age, that extra damage burst. And cool, just showing you the power of Song Dynasty, by the way. He's already back up to a 14 worker lead. After all that damage done, after the fact that he's lost 30 more workers than his opponent. Now, this is ambitious from Core. Springolds are the answer to mass spears, but they're also hard countered by mass yeoman. As long as Numidon doesn't just do brain dead spears, he should be fairly safe against this. Once more into the breach. Army almost as big as it was last time. Difference here is more spears than yo. As he walks by to say yo to his opponent, Core does have a castle up this time. It's a good static defense. However, the massment of spears could be a way of burning this down. He just doesn't have them all here yet. You know, he's got a second wave rallying. Maybe just burn the TC. I mean, you're here. At least this more or less guarantees if you do damage to Core, he's going to feel it this time. Core just has to watch it burn. He's not in a position to fight just yet. Nimu. He's encircling, looking for that north side strike. Needs to be careful to dive here into those chokes. Remember, the pen shots can go big in these areas. Turns around for it. Decent damage through, but now the sync shot comes out. It's a whiff, though. He didn't choose between the archers and the springles. He tried to get both. Yeoman are going to follow us up now. Great Wall Gatehouse is on the way from Core in the face of this all. The Nesta Bees needs to be dealt with fast, though. The Yeoman getting through the springolds. And they get through the rest of this. The Warlord's going to come out prematurely from Core, saying, stay away from me. That Great Wall Gatehouse is incredibly slow to build. Numu, he sees it, right? Like, he has to. He's already denied one of the relics over here, but it looks like he's not going to try to dive. So instead, camps in the production. Core is going to be fine for the moment. However, Numidon, look at what's happened over here. The gold gets blocked, but Numidon shouldn't feel too triumphant yet. Look at Core's reserves. He's got 3,000 gold. On top of that, the walls are not going to go up. The farms are going to experience pain again in this game. Don't be silly, KP. Farms don't have feelings. What? I mean, we're putting the test in this one, okay? They've been neglected. They've been abused. And then they've needed to be exploited. It's like, what? Numidon's just going to camp part of the farms, I guess? I mean, tech up's now complete, so he has to take a different approach. I'm wondering if Numidon... Was the Imperial Age maybe a mistake? He's still got a huge army. Like, I wouldn't... It's hard to write him out in this position, but it does feel like Core was maybe given a bit of a lifeline. Versus if this was just castle continued all in. Still, he's idling the farms now. PG reactions coming through. They are elited up, but these spearmen with the elite army tactics actually hold their own quite well. Yeah, even the Earl's Guard just scattered in there, so it's going to be a good hold. I mean, cool, there shouldn't really be a way to turn this around now. He seems reluctant to wave the white flag. He's going to try to build the... Okay, what is happening in this game with your villages? Like, bro, can you just get a grip on them? I don't know, like, literally throttle them if that's what it takes. Like, this keeps happening. They keep randomly taking breaks from building exercises to do treadmill exercises. Looks like the wall is going to go up. Yeoman will be cleared in the end. A castle truck, come on. Give him a break. This castle's kind of pointless as well. The gold is already gone, man. Let it go. Baldquins and Culverins have now arrived, by the way. Been waiting for this gunpowder contingent. He's rolled it twice. So the siege commences. The last of the raiders has been cleared up. And the 8k gold has now been locked in by Numidon, dude. This is so bullyish. This is ridiculously bullyish. And here's the thing, right? Some people will be like, oh man, Lancaster, another W. Well done, KP. You found another Lancaster win. Hey, it's over China, all right? Like, that's the difference. Also, here's the other thing. In fairness, Core decided he was going to tank 3 skill shots to the face. Now, I like whenever I talk about arrows and skill shots, I always go back to Miranda from Dota 2. Anyone who's played knows where I'm going with it. If you walk into a 5-second arrow stun, you deserve to die. Like, not if someone sets it up that way, but if you legitimately just walk into a battle, like, okay. And that was the rough one. Like, I think the most criminal one was the defense here, if you remember. Like, Core just stood still. He wasn't looking at all. Now we see the results of it. Man is down on his luck. Castle soon to be slayed. Great Wall Gatehouse afterwards, and then it'll be a flood onto the farms. Numidon is pretty heavy-handed into spears, but that's fine because he's got the Robotiquins. Like, the most important thing here is the Colv Robotiquins. So the Colvs to kill the Springolds, and then the Robotiquins to just annihilate the Palace Guard. Now that is an interesting switch, though. We've got archers coming. If Numidon doesn't see this, he might be a little bit too heavy into spears. Like, this is the type of time where you want to get ready to dive with a few spearmen to just kind of discard them. And recalibrate into probably like an extra 10, 15 yeomen at least. I'd also say Numidon is actually overburdened on the economy at this stage. He's 104. And if you look at his reserves, it's almost 10,000. This would probably be a good time to lose 10, 15 villages. I do love this, though. The forward infrastructure. Actually, I love this and hate this because... what is going on in this game? I'm sorry, what? Numidon's like, why is Core not GG'd? He must be building horsemen. It's the only possibility. Let's put my Wingard in a castle. I mean, Wingard Castle does sound better than Berkshire Castle. Yeah, he is at least using Garrison Command this time is what I was going to say. Because Numidon in the past, like, we've critiqued, like, he usually just forgets to use Wingard and spams Spearman normally. What's Numidon doing? He's having a good time, man. He's having a good time. He's building a Star Fort. The most efficient form of castle to repel sieges. Well, Great Wall Gatehouse is down. Cool. Wait. That was the worst sink shot he's done all game. Numidon, is it me or are the sink shots getting worse as the game goes on? Remember the last one that whiffed between the Spirals and the Archers? Robotiquins are now going to be here to try and fight. Spirals can actually snipe out Robotiquins if you have enough of them. There's one Roboti down. Actually, 2. He's the target fire the remainder. Core struggling to hold on to the line here. It's getting thin. One Robotiquin left. Archer's looking to finish that one off. Gonna move him for the reload. Gets one more flurry out. Kind of a wasted shot there, but still it does enough. Core down to barely any army remaining. Remember, the Great Wall Gatehouse is already dead. Wait, is it? No. It is. He calls it. GG comes in. I thought I saw a scatter in there for a moment. Man, Numidon, we won't talk about those last 2 skill shots, but guys, you gotta give him credit, right? Even if you're a hater of Lancaster, those sink shots were maximum value. And that timing in his base, that won him the game. Starflock, why you gotta grief it? He was warming up and now he's serious? And then he GG's? Brother. What's up, Zacamros? Nice to see you stream AV4 because of you. I just spent my last 3 nights on the King. It's a good game, isn't it? I'm thinking about giving away a key. Maybe we'll give away a key on Thursday, actually. King's Watching is pretty cool. I'll probably give away a key on Thursday. More people need to experience that game. My only negative is, like, I'm now at the point after, 25 hours, like, I want more content. I never said Serious Core was better. Ah, got it. So you're a backpedaler. Is that it? Is that meant to make it better? Coward. Commit. The combo that can flip a game or turn a game around? A combo that can turn loss into win. Can we see a cool win? You might as well just ask me for a unicorn. I mean, come on. We'll... Anyway. I don't know, that game went on for quite a bit for like how over it felt at one point. I was like, what? I was like, Core must have something in mind. There is the way. There is the plan. There was no plan. Only death. All right. Shall we do... What, a Wham versus Louis? Wham versus Louis could be interesting. Whew. Ugh. Yeah. In fact, let me have a look. There was a sort of game versus Louis we were gonna do yesterday. We didn't do it, and I think it might be gone now. Let me see if we can find it. How do you do those sync shots? You press Q, and then like you aim. You gotta aim. Just click them, lol. Just click them. Dude, that always reminds me of someone. When I went to uni, there was this guy that had no respect or appreciation for crap, Louis hidden his data. Liet. I had like no appreciation, no respect, etc. for like FPS and the skill it took. He's like, it's just aiming and clicking heads. And it's like, well, card games is just aiming and clicking. Like, you know, every game can be boiled down to aiming and clicking. And he just like didn't understand the strategic depth. And I was like, have you ever played an FPS in your life? He went, no. I was like, so like you're just talking out of your ass. How can you have an opinion on whether something takes skill and you haven't even tried it yourself? Like, this is the crazy thing, by the way. Like, I don't know, like, once in chat if you realize, like, once if you agree with this, twos if no. Counter-Strike has just as much strategic depth, if not more, than Age of Empires 4. Now, that's going to be an interesting one to see the responses to. If you're saying 2, no, I sincerely plead with you to actually go and look at Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike, like, it has existed for so many years. The depths to the strategies involved in that are so microscopically unnoticeable, it's ridiculous. But it wins or loses games. It is crazy. Like, they have just as many permutations, weirdly enough. But like, their permutations are more subtle. Like when you go into a map, the way you open, your positioning, etc. It's like so unique. It's like baking a cake versus creating a sweater. Oh yeah, like, they're different, don't get me wrong. But like, the amount of choices going on in Counter-Strike is crazy, actually. So different, same time, has a lot of decision making. Yeah, like, I think the interesting thing is, like, there is a ridiculous amount of decisions being made in one round of Counter-Strike that is kind of crazy. Maybe it's a half step down from AoE. Yeah, maybe. I've like watched a decent amount of Counter-Strike to the point like it's baffling when you like, and I don't even realize everything they're doing. Like, if you ever talk to a Counter-Strike pro about the game strat and what they were doing, like, your jaw kind of hits the floor on like the thought process and what they were doing in every moment of the game. Now, this isn't, by the way, I'm not trying to like devalue AoE and say there's like, oh, there's no brain, there's no skill. That's not my point. My point is, like, it's actually kind of crazy with like FPSs how much strategic depth they can have. Even like Apex Legends is actually another one. Like, Apex Legends is a different kind of style, but the thing that a lot of people don't realize when they watch Apex casually is if you talk to like a pro player and you talk to them in like about pro lobby situation, they'll tell you like the speculation of where like all the top teams are and where they're converging from. They also then have things like remembering the comp that like Optic use, etc. Positionings, like there's a lot that goes into FPSs that like I don't know. It tilts me like that guy in uni tilted me hard because like it tilts me anytime someone like devalues the amount of like strategic depth required for high level FPS. It's a different style to like RTSs, etc. for sure, but it is crazy just how much goes into that. In CS, you're getting scouting from 5 people every round. Yep, and you do have to communicate that as well. Like, I think the interesting way to think about it when you go down that rabbit hole is if you consider the fact that like every single step that each person takes in a game of Counter-Strike in a direction leads to a different permutation. Because, like, compared to something like Call of Duty, right? Call of Duty still has strategic depth, but like Counter-Strike is because you start in a fixed location at the beginning of a round, and then you can only move so much distance across a time interval in that game. There is actually like a reasonable assessment of where people can be. And if you talk to very experienced Counter-Strike players, they'll tell you about that. Like they'll hit B ramp at this second sort of thing, right? Like that's the timing threshold they can achieve. It's very, very interesting. Counter-Strike, you aren't thinking about what you're going to be doing in 10 minutes. In some ways you are, because you have like that now that's like a bait fat lap. There is an element of that because you have the buy. Right? The thing that I actually love about Counter-Strike is the economy that exists outside of individual rounds. That adds like a whole other layer to the cake. Yeah, there's a reason why Counter-Strike is the most popular esport in the world. And it's earned it very fairly. All right, so I think we wanted... Let's go for maybe a cheeky little Elona versus Demi. Do you think the relative lack of change to CS hurts its case? It has changes, right? But like it changes based on like the maps and long-term gunplay changes. I think in some ways it's actually helped it because there's the granularity of the learning. There are a lot of FPSs that would probably need regular change, like Call of Duty chose that approach, right? Apex Legends has that approach. But the thing you have to keep in mind with like Counter-Strike is for the most, it's a well-oiled balance machine. But the thing that evolves is the game state. And that's what I mean about like, because of the budgeting between rounds and the time interval of like you spawn the same place, you can only move so much in X seconds. That is the formula that allows you to not change the game state for years and it will still develop. Does that make sense? Right? So like for Call of Duty, you need to keep changing crap. Because I could spawn in like 20 different locations on the map. And that changes what I can do. And you could say, yeah, well then you learn those, right? Yes, but like from a counter strategic point, it's moot because I could spawn here, move forward, and you could spawn behind me. Now, there is such a thing, as if everyone's watching competitive Call of Duty, there's such a thing as like spawn control. That is a big part of like gameplay strat. But what I'm trying to aim at here is the strategic layer of complexity that exists there is very, very different than Counter-Strike. Because in Counter-Strike, the whole idea is like, to a certain degree, you can very clearly hold yourself hostage to your own faults. You can't just say, well, that sucked, man. He spawned behind me, sort of thing. Does that make sense? It's very, very different. Wasn't there an RTS that also had FPS elements and was multiplayer? Like you had one player be the eye in the sky with macro decision other than the ground? I don't think I've been sponsored by one of them. But there are games like that. So one game you're thinking of that actually fits perfectly what you just described. The most obvious one for actually a lot of like OG people would be Natural Selection. Natural Selection 2 done exactly what you just described. So you had one player who was like commander, and then the rest of the people were moving around on the ground. It's kind of a shame that this game disappeared, but I think it became a little bit too complicated and elitist was part of the problem. And there's other games as examples, but I think the one that had the most success was Natural Selection. So the whole idea is it was aliens versus humans. So like this, and that was part of the problem, by the way. So it was alien versus humans, and then it was someone was an RTS commander, and then everyone else was an FPS player playing in the RTS commander's sphere. So that creates like two layers of complexity that are problematic. So one is you are held hostage by how good your commander is. If your commander is incompetent and has no clue what they're doing, you can't actually play the game. And by the way, they did come up with solutions to that, which is that I think you could vote to eject them and even kill them for it, right? And two, asymmetrical balancing in an already complicated atmosphere because you are already meshing two different game genres. Well, now you've just made it a complete mess, right? You've meshed two game genres, and then you've got to figure out the difference in balance between aliens and humans. I think that was their problem. They tried to run before they could walk, and it wasn't smart for that reason. CS is just, more strategic. I thought it was just blind shooting. Yeah, when you go for the 5 Negev strat, but you got to be strategic, man. You got to earn the money to get the 5 Negev strat. AoE clearly has more micro. No, have you not seen the amount of times that people switch between knife and pistol? Yeah. All right. It's Dumu's worst nightmare. French people. I'm sorry, Elona. What is up, one and all? Welcome back to the channel. Demu is done masquerading as other individuals. He's returned to his original nameplate. But it's not going to be Marine Lord he's up to facing here today with the Byzantines. No, instead it is going to be Elona, arguably the second best player out of France, playing as the Delian. And Deli a little bit of a signature pick, I want to say. It's probably Eliona's most comfortable pick to this day. It's up there, for sure. Like, if I think about the civs that I've cast him on over the years, this is definitely the one that just feels like it's been there. Just shows the sweaty tryhard nature, right, of the gamer that is Elona as he tries to make his way as a pro. Because, like, if you think about it, when Elona started to enter the scene, you're talking about a time where Deli was pretty much the civ you had to play, right? Like, it was the civ that if you didn't know how to play, you probably weren't going to crack the upper echelons. Less so these days. I think it's kind of more widespread. Like, you need to know all the civs to a certain degree. But back when Elona was really trying to make his comeuppance, I think that was when Deli was on the rise to a degree that if you didn't know how to play them, you were heavily crippling yourself in competitive AoE 4. Byzantines, oh my god. Like, who doesn't want to play them? They get loads of olive oil, and with all that olive oil, you can throw parties that Lombos come to. Yeah, then you build mango towers. Everyone hates mango towers, but, here's the thing, right? They hate them, but you love them. Because at the end of the day, you're the one who gets to hold the rocks. This matchup, however, I think Deli has some good moves. Byzantines, at one stage, they were kind of forced into this Hippodrome strat to try and counterplay. And I didn't like it. The Hippodrome all-in was like, if you use your Triumph to snipe the first Scholars, the first two, you win the game. But that's one hell of a gamble. And also, this was back in the days where people done Tower of Victory. These days, people do Dome of Faith. It's one very good assistant. Yeah, actually, now that you mention it, it's kind of disgusting. Yo, if he was up against a civ that outpost rushes, he'd be screwed right now. Oh my god, that is so lucky. What? Yeah, if it was any civ but Deli, more or less, right? Like, there's not many civs that wouldn't outpost rush these days. Even French, I think, would consider it. That's crazy. Lombos always skip your parties? That's because your villagers just keep shaking the boots and inviting them back home. Yeah, Lombos on this matchup is kind of weird. I've seen it work, though. There's like an interesting strategy that I wish we saw more of. It happened in a tournament on a Coastal Cliffs game where the Byzantine player basically massed Lombos and archers to beat Ghazi. It sounds so wacky, but once you get enough of them, especially with the Lombos' premium firepower, like your archers become a kind of a pseudo front line. The key is you have to force your opponent off of Ghazi only first, so they're like divesting into archers or spears, and then you double down on ranged. Not really expecting to see it here. I think it's much more appropriate for maps that are thin, such as Coastal Cliffs. Cliffside comes to mind as well. You essentially want any map where your opponent just can't easily surround you. Otherwise, the archer mass just dies too fast. Wait, did you guys know that apparently Stormgate's launching today? I wonder if we look at that later. Does it have a release point? I don't know, I've heard some rumors that there's a lot of cool things going on, right? Like with the modding side of things. I think the exiting early access with the first campaign launched is the idea. The Terran campaign, or rather the Vanguard. I personally have not looked at the game. I think for over a year now. It would have been around now last year when I helped Morph out with one of his tournaments. I mean, I always wish the best for Stormgate. I had some fun with it, but I also understand a lot of people's concerns and frustrations at it. It's interesting, actually, because I think if this flops now, with StarCraft 2's shaky-looking future, I mean, AoE 4 may just inherently be handed the crown, if that makes sense. I think our biggest holdback on getting that audience is going to be the input of the game. Which is kind of a shame. I would say, like, there's so many things being done right with AoE 4. The one thing I do wish we actually had, like, some adjustments on still is the input. Because the thing is, guys, like, RTS is similar to FPSs. Haha, we've done it again. We were talking about, like, Counter-Strike earlier, but you'll agree on this one for sure. Both of those games are all about feel. Competitive RTSs and sweaty FPSs. Both are all about input and the smoothness of it. Well, we've got to be careful to mention the word smoothness when you're around FPS gamers. Not to be confused with, like, mouse moving. But if everything doesn't feel fluid, then they just, like, switch off. I think that's, like, probably the only major thing that holds AoE 4 back right now. Like, we can talk about the balance of things like Pro Scouts, but those are, in the grand scheme of things, those are minimal things that we know can be fixed with ease. But I'm curious if we'll ever see a rework on an engine, or if it's, like, you know, full steam ahead to AoE 5 for that to happen. Skulls coming out from Elona, though. So pretty much like the standard starts we were expecting to see here. We've got level 3 System already. Demu has actually stopped gathering stone temporarily, just set up the racks. Limitane now added into the Ghazi. Sanctity timing is just a minute and a half away. And this is a pretty good map, actually, for walling in these days. The tree lines just spread so thickly around the sacred sites that it kind of gives you a much easier time securing the whole map. Because the goal here, essentially, guys, you build a wall here, you build a wall here, then build another one around the back of the sacred site to loop-de-loo it, and vice versa over here. Quite feasible, actually, with Delhi. But remember what he said, where, like, the way that Byzantines can actually have advantages is the moment you have to start diversifying your unit comp. And if you want a wall, you're going to have to do that. Do I think people from AoE 2 will ever give it a chance? I think if the prize pools for AoE 2 went down and AoE 4 went up, maybe. But I don't see that happening for AoE 2. I think, like, AoE 2... I envision AoE 2 kind of like how you envision EVE Online. The game has such deep roots of loyalty to it, it's probably not gonna... It's not gonna change too much now. Does that make sense? Right, like, at this point, if you love the game, you love the game, and you're just convinced you're gonna stick to it. Same with people who hang around for StarCraft. You know, the thing is, like, there's certain gamers that really appreciate and are obsessed with the granularity of those type of games. Do they appeal to the majority, the mass majority? Not often. Because for the majority of gamers, they don't really want to go up against someone who has 20 years experience on them and just to get beat. They just want to find a way of having fun. Now, that's not to say AoE 2, etc. can't be fun, but it is much harder to have fun if you're a complete new guy going into gold rank, but the gold rankers you're up against have 3,000 hours played. And that, by the way, has been the challenge for many games for a long time now. When you try and do these revamps, these relaunches. Like, AoE 2 was a byproduct of being in the perfect storm of when it occurred. Like, you know, around COVID, just before it as well. But, like, you look at something such as Age of Mythology. Age of Mythology that launched post-COVID and after this kind of, like, real big resurgence to definitive editions, etc. Had a decent start, but then just fizzled out. Because at that point, the people who you're bringing into the game, a lot of them are going to be people who have loyalties to other games. Right? So you either need a new product that innovates in a way that you're going to pull people away from the old products, or you need a timing within games and your launch cycle where a new audience entirely is looking at games. That, by the way, is a huge part of why Valorant succeeded so much. Part of it is people wanted to play Counter-Strike, but they didn't want to suffer learning Counter-Strike against people who played it for years. The other part was, it was in the middle of COVID. So let's talk a little bit about what's happening in the game, because Demu is going the expected way. He forces the archer transition. He goes into javelins. Usually the problem here I see with javelins is actually skilling quick enough against Deli, especially with the sacred sites kind of spreading you thin. Because the idea here is like Elona should be able to pinch kills on one sacred site or the other every time Demu goes for a decap. Now that is something that is going to be vice versa, right? Like if Elona doesn't have a sacred site, then Demu can just steer into them each time. Bit cheeky here with the Ghazi. Maybe a bit ambitious. Still, able to block the decap on the east side. Has not captured the center sacred site. Demu will get the scholar kill as well. Yeah, his position is pretty good in this game so far. He's got the the olive groves coming in already. He's got level 4 cistern. I think Demu is pretty cozy. Would be nice to secure more berries just to inflate the javelin count. Because the archer count is getting pretty high for Elona. Archers. Now going to stand their ground on that sacred site as Limitane do charge on in. The Ghazi are trying to wrap onto the javelins. They'll catch the reinforcing wave. The javelins are actually going to dive in to the front line here to try and stay alive longer. There's only a few Ghazi left over, but 1 or 2 is going to be good enough to clean this up. Just needs to let time pass the last Limitane to go down. The Ghazi easily capable of sweeping this aside. So Demu taking the knee in this central engagement. Wow, and that is an expensive loss, remember. The javelins are very difficult to replace. He's got the groves set up, sure, but that's slow. He's accessing the secondary berry patch, so he should be able to get like 2 more jav groups going. But Elona, I'd say, traded pretty damn well there. Like, look at the difference in military, and also the map control now allows a triple sacred site lock-in. Villager's also in trouble. Could even just snipe another one for free here if Eliona's paying attention. Instead, he focused on the Limitane. A bit of a missed opportunity there, actually. The villager is definitely worth killing. And sometimes it's crazy when you watch Limitane with shield wall, how slow they die. Still, some amount of time being achieved here. Demu is saving for an age up, which I think is the correct call in this situation. Is he actually? Wait, is he going horseman? That's kind of crazy. So the reason I was going to say the tech up is the right call is because Elona is going to do it anyway. And you have to ask, like, if you now reinvest, can you counterattack? Can you do any real damage? Maybe Demu thought that he was going to get dove. You have to remember that we see everything he does not. So from his POV, he's in a very dangerous position. Hence the reinvestment. The Ghazi now looking for extra kills here. Villagers will get into safety, but 2 are going to be left behind, bailed upon, and left with the Delhi Raiders. Able to get all, will lose 1, probably 2 Ghazi for it. House of Learning now on the way. The Horseman strategy has been revealed. Triple Sacred Sites locked in. I mean, Demu has truly got his work cut out here. 3,000 hours played. You're saying majority of people don't have 3,000 hours played? For a game like Age of Empires 2, I disagree with that. You have to remember that like, in that case, people have been playing across years and years. You shouldn't just equate their hours in the Definitive Edition. You should think about the hours invested in the game long term. Same as like people with CS2, right? Think of it more, how many hours does he have combined between Counter-Strike 1.6 and Counter-Strike Global Offensive and then CS2? Because it's them in the same ecosystem. It's like, where it gets a little bit more stretch is when you say Call of Duty, but Call of Duty also holds that credence. Like, how many hours do certain people have in Call of Duty across all the editions? Horsemen, by the way, are going to be chasing the archers home, but if that's all the damage Elona takes to the age up, you're happy with that. Relics galore should be underway. Yeah, 4 relics now being pulled home. Demu, he gets the decap. He actually might get an intercept here as well. That would be big. He is not aged up himself, folks. He's still playing an age behind him. This is brutal, man. Like a normal scholar, you might try and commit to get that kill, to slow things down, but against Piety, impossible. So there we go. Another example. Euryles in the chat. I don't even have 20% of that in Street Fighter 6. Okay, but how many hours do you have on all the Street Fighters combined? So loyalty to an IP like matters here in this discussion, right? Because I think that's a fairer comparison, because the thing you have to keep in mind is that Age of Empires 2 has been reinvigorated time and time and time again. Very surprised by the fight Demi took in the center. I think he just thought the timing on the second jab wave was going to be good enough. It kind of looked like for a moment it was going to be just about good enough trade until the extra Ghazi arrive. Yeah, y'all, like, I mean, guys, I've got like 8,000 hours in Dota 2, and that doesn't even equate all the hours I've spent casting it. Like, some of that isn't that, but there's plenty of times where I've just, like, remotely signed into a broadcast and then cast from a POV. Gone one turn, now coming through for Demi. Still, position feels shaky, right? 4 relics already locked in. He is making the right move towards the food. In fact, the deer were never pulled home, despite the fact Elona got pro scouts. Did he forget about it? No, he's been pulling them back just from the north side. Demi just hesitant to dive in. The army size difference isn't really drastic when you remember that the 13 in this is scholars, but it's the age difference. Men-at-arms now coming through to guarantee there's no fight. Now what for Demi? So he's going to access Camel Riders? I mean, it's kind of useful here, right? Your opponent's going Lancers. The interesting thing, though, is that with Hone Blades, Lancers essentially offset most of the unease. Right? Unease is 20% off, so that ends up being 4.8 damage, but you're doing 3 extra anyway. So you're still negative, but it's not as brutal of a negative. Demi is going to posture defensively. With the age up complete, he has got an outpost ready to be mangoed up. Just needs to get the rest of the stone in. Would love to see him actually rush a few in here. Getting 2 or 3 mango towers actually could be Demi's way back into this game. But he needs to be fast. Because right now, Elona is furious. Look at the size of this army. Torches out. It's going to start moving in. And this is pre-mango in placement. Demi only has a flurry of arrows to protect himself. Elona spreads out the men-at-arms, pulls the lancers away. MAA completely uncounted by this army. Demi's gonna have to give way. The numbers are not looking good right now for Benny Boy. And so many men-at-arms, up to 15 already in the field. Lancers are gonna break past the Limitane line. Camel Riders are gonna come out to negate that. The one weakness Elona has is mobility isn't on his side, because at the core, you're waiting for the men-at-arms to move up. Triple Sacred Site now locked in. I mean, Elona just has so much gold to work with, and on top of that, folks, he's getting ready for the castle drops. 440 stone already. Lofty 8, gathering that up. Usually a little bit too greedy, but when you've got this much gold, it kind of just inflates your economy to the point you can afford castles. And yeah, Demi, mate, he doesn't just look cooked. He looks burnt. It's going to take a master chef to turn this into a meal. At this rate, it's just going in the trash. Demi, only javelins left alive at this stage. Not bad to have against the crossbows. Can actually kite against the men-at-arms. But, you know, one thing that pains me is still the lack of any mango emplacements coming through. He just doesn't have anything to fall back on that is truly threatening for Elona here. And the men-at-arms need to be countered soon. Because the problem he's running into here is this MAA flood. If Elona has the food to keep this going, Javs are terrible at trading into that. You know, you got 11 base damage, you're up against 6 ranged armor, and you're not even moving away anymore. Yeesh. And you know what would be crazy, actually, is if Elona remembers to get Forced March, people always kind of forget it. It is queued up for last there, but that'll be sick for reinforcing with newly spawned men-at-arms. And also great for just catching the remaining Javs. Not that there's really much left to catch here. Oh my god, he settles on arrow slits. Pain. 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 Alright, 2s if you think we're going to see a mango tower by the end of the game. 1s if no. I mean, he can get stoned by building buildings. It just feels like a stretch, right? Ram's now coming in. Elona has slowed down a little bit, by the way. I think he just ran out of food. So that's why Demi didn't GG, by the way. Is like, he has infinite food. He knows the way Delhi play. They normally don't have farms by now. Elona only adding in the first now. Going up to about 15. So eventually he'll be able to renew the assault. But Demu does get a stay of execution. And by that, I mean the executioner cut off his limbs and then was like, we don't need to kill you right now. You're not going anywhere. Yes, that's a 21 worker lead. No castle drop for Elyo. There, it's in the center. Okay. He's locking in. He's going for a Sacred Site win condition. Camels are going to go for a decap. Looks like that will be quick enough as well. Okay, so WinCon not going to be there for Elyon. He'll have to think different. But he's flooding into farms now. We're seeing a what? Yeah, 20, about to be 25. He's escalating fast. The weird thing to me... Elyo. Oh. You tease! You absolute tease! So I was about to say, the weird thing is that Elona at any stage could have got this block on the decap. He was moving his army with a ram, guys. Like, this was completely unnecessary. It's like self-griefing at this stage. Unbelievable. Why would you do this to him, man? Dude was like, there's hope. There's a way. This like takes him back to high school when he asked the prettiest girl out. And she was like, if you were the last man on Earth, maybe. You're like, so there's a chance. It could happen. I mean, Demi's gonna have to fight soon. It's such a shame. I think if you got that decap, an extra 4 minutes goes a long way here. Because, like, you're still back up against the wall, but the thing you have to remember is, like, you know, you might be able to scale 2TC in that environment. And then you got the system buff. It's still really, really hard, but, like, there's some potential at least. Decap attempt again. But this time, Elona doesn't have any ram slowing him down. On top of that, guys, he's got War Elephants. I think you just sit a War Elephant on each of the sacred sites and be fine. So when does Stormgate launch then? I'm guessing it comes out in like another hour or two, maybe? I would have thought it would be already up by now. Anyway. Thought we'd try to put that conversation out there to distract from Demu getting demolished. It's Elephanto fun time. There are crossbows, but there really aren't many. Javelins are trying to trade out on the backside. Rams are going to address the forward outpost, though. I mean, at this stage, there's like no spearmen. And only a handful of crossbows, so the War Elephants should just win. They've got mahouts, you can't really run away from them. What happens when you set fire to grapes? We're seeing it here. Is that how they become prudent? Demu's drying up like one right now. Dive towards the back of the base. The War Elephants did slow down for a moment there. I think they got A-clicked on something, but they're going to resume the assault. They're wrapping around the back now. Camels to try and slow them down. The Limitane are going to move in. With the shield wall, these crossbows actually don't do very well. Oh yeah, sorry, not grapes, olives. Oh, by some miracle, he has actually killed the War Elephants. So Elona, what happened here? I think he's just taking maybe the hard route to victory. He keeps bludgeoning at the Grand Winery when there's a lot of gathering up here that is essentially keeping Demi in the game. Like, if you just block the deer, the boar, the berries... Wait, what is that spawn? I think he can reach it? Alright, that's a KW right there. Wood in the bush. But yeah, this game should have been over, right? But Elona, I mean, here's another thought. Did he even need to dive in? He had a win con. It's down to 3 minutes. And Demi will now achieve step 1 on the route to a comeback. It's a long road to recovery, by the way. Keep that in mind. Elona's at 45, soon 50 farms. Demu, still low, 14. But it's something. I think you're wrong about that. I think the reason Knights Templar gets food from wood is that they're secretly a nation of beavers. You guys just don't realize it. Like, how would you even know, right? Because the Knights Templar always wear hoods and helms. So you can't even see their face. You wouldn't know if they're a beaver or a human. Wait, why has he got a tower elephant? Guys, tower elephants are actually a terrible idea against javelins. Javs get +8 damage, which is pretty much all of your ranged armor at this stage. Whoops. I mean, I guess you still have 600 HP. That's like, what, 60 shots to kill? 60 shots to kill something that costs that much is a pretty good deal, I feel like. So he has got the mango as well, but just look at the HP. I mean, it's nice for javelins. They have a clear target. They're not just going to overkill. So, yeah, elephant down. I'm going to just go ahead and say not worth on that one. Going to give the referee decision. You're rocked. Still, I mean, Eliona's food income just feels like it's way too good to lose. Not to say it's impossible to lose this. There's definitely a way. But improbable would be a fair word to attach. Like, I think eventually Elona might just go, okay, this is way too hard. You know, I don't need to dive the base. I just need to hold Sacred Site. So just, like, gather more stone and keep dropping. In fact, has he got stone gathering actively? No. Okay, he tapped it dry. He might be moving to a new one soon. No, that one's gone. I guess you can go for the fat stack here. If it crashed now, would it be a remake? Oh, there's the castle. Well, it depends. If it crashes now, we don't know if the castle goes up, so clearly we should It's gonna go up. No doubt about it. Even if Elona disconnected, that thing is completing. Demu not able to stop that. That means there's only one sacred site, and Eliona's fat army can sit his ass right on there. This is over. Man. Poor old Benny boy, the classic against Delhi. One bad feudal fight is how everything turns to sour grapes. He's going to march, steer towards that only sacred site he can try to decap. He doesn't have a choice anymore. The villagers have been pulled. Demu, he's going to go for a castle drop of his own. But with 2 mangoes in play, it does not seem like a realistic objective. I don't really see the way. Mango. Just going to already start splatting the few range units there are. A ring of the bell signals out that it's now or never for Demu, and it's very clearly never. Elio, flexing his deli strong here. Demu, I wonder what like the takeaway he had from this game is. Like maybe just hunkering down, being a bit more greedy. Maybe a horseman timing, longbow play. I wonder if he rates the javelin play after all this. Like traditionally, it is meant to be the way to go against Delhi. Historically, it has been anyway. But I've been noticing a lot of players just gravitating towards longbow more and more as the meta has been developing. Can't follow him. The Frenchman will get the win. Words that make Demu's face scrunch up when he hears it. Alright. Interesting game. Let's see what else we've got on the menu. So I think Numu is scrimming. Maybe Numu versus Sass. Looking for interesting matchups. Was it Jean versus Lancaster? You guys want some Jean versus Lancaster? Or we could do Elio versus Deniska. There is the Wham game as well, actually. Oh, actually, no. Dude, we're going to do the Poppy Ball game. Yeah, I like the look of the Poppy Ball game. There's an English versus Lancaster game. Dude, people are playing a lot of Lancaster at the moment, actually. Do you guys notice that? When we get that JD rework, I mean, I assume it's probably going to have to come with the expansion. That would make the most sense. Because, like, what you got to keep in mind is, like, that we talked about justifying development costs. You can more easily, as a developer, slide things in when you're launching a DLC. And also, you backtrack logic, like, it's because it's a DLC Civ from before. If they question it, you're like, well, dude, if this is, like, now better, more people are going to buy the DLC. I was in a good game in Hedge Maze. I haven't seen any games on Hedge Maze. Isn't it just Quick Match? I think Quick Match is, like, the only way you can play it. So it just doesn't get seen. If you remind me off this one star flat, we'll probably take a Gandus. Thank you. We'll do this one because we just hopped into it. And I do love a good old-fashioned civil war. It's War of the Bros this time. Well, one of the bros anyway, as we're going to have Poppy Paw, a.k.a. David Kim, going up against Spare Yardy. It's Kill Yardy. Let's get into it, folks. Welcome back to the channel for another pub appearance here. We're just a few days out from our $20,000 esports circuit being renewed. Got to make the time pass somehow. What better way than checking in on some of the game's finest as they clash on the ladder? English versus Lancaster. Yeah, Lancaster, I actually think, like, can struggle a little bit in this matchup. English have some good, like, tempo timings early on where you can just, like, aggro into Lancaster as they're scaling up their economy. Or you can play towards the later game where I think, like, England actually has, like, some decent choices. The men-at-arms in particular with the armor-clads, super effective, and never discredit the value of that attack speed buffer. Not to mention the tempo. Like, I actually think, from what I've seen anyway in the past, like, English seems like they can achieve maybe, like, a slightly better fast imp timing for Wingard Raiders. Can get a little dicey if you play it slow, though. Because if you play it slow, then you're going to be up against... I'm sorry, it's not Demi, it's Poppy Paw. If you play it slow, you're going to be up against a lot of Spearmen. So let's just add Poppy Paw's name in. And we'll do Kill Yardy as well. I actually wonder... Is Kill Yardy going to be greedy? Or does he try, like, some sort of aggro? Because I did see a few Lancaster players trying these pretty funky Abbey of Kings builds. But usually, like, it just ends up being Abbey of Kings on the other side in 2TC. And I feel like with that, it's very hard to dent. But the idea is that if you go for the Lords of Lancaster here as Lancaster, you do get a lot of health and ramps for a push. But it's just going to be standard greed. Wow, what a shocker. Lancaster's building buildings. I could have never perceived. Lombo versus worst Lombo or Yeoman versus worst Yeoman? That is the question. And the answer is, who has more? Yeah, if you've got enough Lombos, you can actually stand your ground really well against Yeoman in Feudal Age. And in theory, like, Yeoman should lose because Lombos scale easier. And by the way, guys, we're seeing Longbows, but it's a bait and switch. Check this. It's going to be 2TC. I've noticed some players like doing this. It's really good against civs that actually want to eco. The idea is that normally the reason why English with this 2TC strat took over is because the Abbey of King's opening, the king forces a reaction. Right? He's too good to not force a reaction. You have to address him. You have to build spears, etc. But with the House of Lancaster's mana build, the idea is you should have enough archer fire that the king can't dive you. So what does Poppy Paw do? Well, what blue does here is he adds in just probably a scattering of 3 to 4 Lombos, enough to force Spare Yardy to react it by probably going into his own Yos or having to go into Hobbler. And that is enough of a side investment that it slows down the mana escalation and gives the 2TC play the edge. Pretty smart. Sheep count, by the way, is pretty even. 16 sheep coming in for Spare Yardi, and then it's going to be 19 for David Kim. House of Lancaster is busted? Well. They're very strong. Busted is like a bit debatable at the absolute highest level. I don't think they're like completely broken. They are very frustrating to play against, and I feel like a broken record at this stage. I mean, I don't know why it hasn't been changed yet. They are too good at playing the build they play. And what I mean by that is that you don't really have to do anything. You know what I mean? With the mana spam, like, your opponent has to come to you. Right? They have to do something about your scaling. Otherwise, you just take over the game. Feels more annoying than busted? Exactly. Like, have you ever done something in life? Like, maybe you just played a game with your friends in real life. Or, sorry, we're gamers. No real friends. Like you're playing a game, and someone wants to metagame. They want to play a specific way, and you're like, oh, this is so tedious. I don't want to play like this. You remember when you're like a little kid, and you just want to be a rocket launcher supercar driving around the playground, and then you had that person like, no, this is a traffic crossing line. You must wait here until the old lady crosses the road. And then that was when you realized at a young age that you might be a psychopath because your response was, I want to run the old lady over. I'm just checking the time. We're 5 minutes in the video, so I won't get demonetized. That's how I envision Lancaster. Is you want to run your old ladies over, but Lancaster's like, no. We must build in an orderly fashion. You must allow me to scale my economy. You must watch it happen. That's the problem. Actually, the irony is this strat right here is the latest edition of this strat. Did you guys ever think about it that way? English 2TC meta was doing exactly this. Hey, this is the way I'm playing. You have to react to it. You can't just play your game. Abby over a council over Abbey Hall? Abbey Hall? Of Abby? The reason is because I think he wanted a reaction. Credit to Skill Yadi, though, he didn't react. I don't know if that's a lack of scouting or just he didn't care. I think he just didn't care. Because he saw the stone, like, this is the unfortunate thing. Puppy Paw's idea is cool, but the positioning is not. Because it's stone on the front side, he can't hide the fact he's 2TCing for even a second. So, good temperament by Kilyadi. Means he's now just going to hunker down. And it looks like it is going to be the mustering and the nobles. Interesting against English TCs. Remember, they have got the double arrow fire in the primary, and they also have the attack speed buffer for all their ranged villagers. So, quite difficult for the Demi Lancers to do much damage. The council hall blocking a farm's annoying you? Yeah, but like, you know, it's not like we're going to zoom in on it and really enhance the fact that he's blocked a farm. What about that random house too? Nah, that one made sense, right? He optimized it as well. He walked over the mining camp and didn't get in the way of his farms. Second farm cluster coming in over here, though. This does feel like a weird spread for, like, where are you going to put the white tower? Are you going to drop it here? Because, like, white towers like this aren't that valuable. The problem is that you want the white tower forward of where your farms are, not back. So I imagine maybe he just leans this way, builds the white tower, say, here for the secondary tree line, and that gets you more farm clusters around it. Does mean Yuriko's a bit exposed, but, I mean, Kilyadi's not coming in a rush. Right? He is going to be bringing the thunder soon, though. Last of the resource being stockpiled up. This does not look like an Earlsguard build. No, I think we're going to be seeing King's College out of Gilyadi, actually. Or not? No, he actually is going white tower. Okay, good lad. Wait. We're not... It's just here, right? Had me worried. Because I glanced, I was like, you don't have wheelbarrow. Please don't run across the map. God, that would have been a nightmare. So, it's just going to lock in his extra gold. And also, by building it like this, not only do you secure the 4 gold, you also now have your Earlsguard closer to the enemy base when you now rush across. Problem is, it doesn't really feel like much of a rush when you look and see what Puppy Paw is doing. And this, by the way, like, there's actually something we didn't talk about why Council Hall over Abbey of Kings is quite smart here from Puppy Paw. That now comes into the picture. How have Earlsguard been winning time and time again? It's been this rush of Earlsguard, right? The fact they get enough dagger throwers to kill crossbows as they come out. What's been the solution to that is often been civs that have ramped up production rates to get crossbows. For example, China and Shushi, able to supervise. Well, there's no supervision here in England. We definitely pay our taxes, but we don't need someone running around the streets for it. This isn't Robin Hood after all. But the council hall will double your production rate. So he'll be able to produce crossbows every 11 seconds. This is pretty smart. And looks like White Tower, he's going to get into full position. He's going to use it to secure the primary tree line instead. I think part of that is at this stage, if you build it out here, it's probably too loose. This is close enough for the TC to be annoying for yellow. So Yadi here is marching across. Going to be starting to target into the secondary TC. Negative of this White Tower placement, it secures the wood, but now means the council hall where you're building crossbows is slightly out of position. Might become a problem. Extra manners now starting to come through. And I imagine Kilyadi's thinking about a monastery next. Yep, it's already being built on the front side. Alright, ones if you think Lancaster's going to take the dub, twos if you think English. Because we're starting to see the pictures here, right? It's going to be Knight follow-up for Kilyadi, Crossbow Massman for Puppypool. And there you go. Boom, straight away queues them up. The problem now for Kilyadi is, like, can you actually scale quick enough? Your opponent's already got an 11 villager lead, and remember, the farms of the English are a lot more efficient. They even got buffed about, what, 2-3 patches ago? They increased the influence by an extra 5% on the early ages, so now it caps out in Castle instead of Imperial. So it's got 30% food buff on these farms. Now, the good news about the way that Puppet was playing this is it does mean that Kilyadi should get all relics. In theory, anyway. Interesting that we've got this coming up, by the way. Puppypool, he's going into Horseman. He's producing them out of the White Tower. That's pretty smart. It hides the play. Also saves wood, so you can put wood into farms instead. Better go farms or deer pack as English? Good question. So on the H1, when you invest into the farms, 20% buffer on 0.75 is going to put you up at above the deer gathering rate, because deer gathering is 0.84. Survival techniques will still win out there, though. The question then instead becomes, how far away is the deer? Because if it's far away from your base, it has added risk to it. It also has the walk time. So for example, like deer out here, it's going to be better to just build farms. If you're on a map like Altai, however, it's actually quite good value for English to go into survival techniques, because you'll get 2,450 food on a buff gathering rate up by 15% from 0.84, which puts you around like just above 1 food a second. Actually, is it above or at? It's 0.96, I believe. So yeah, answer is situational. If you're on a map with deer close, survival techniques, wheelbarrow not needed, you go deer. But otherwise, farms are really, really good. Okay, so what's the plan now for Kilyadi? Because he's going knights, but my concern here is, you don't have any sort of tech escalations via King's College. Like, imagine a game where you had King's College for, say, Hobbleart transition. Hobbleart transition would be pretty intriguing against crossbows. Also, Hobblears, because of the extra armor, very good at diving all these static defenses of the English. Now, my concern is growing that Kilyadi is just going to be behind. Like, he's winning the relic game. The one weakness of Puppypaw is going to be gold. He has to make a claim soon, either to the western corner or to the east side of his base. If he can do that, he's in good position. If he whiffs on that timing, he won't be able to afford crossbows. He won't be able to afford a tech up. Definitely won't be able to afford that good old-fashioned men-at-arms rush. Yeah, like, you can get a little bit of runway by trading instead. The problem, though, is, with the current gold quantities, like, if you keep scaling up to, say, like, 28, 29 crossbows, and then, say, you go for a tech up, you'll get the tech up, you just won't have any, like, you would have bought the gold for the tech up to a point that you won't be able to afford any elite plus upgrades. Pop a ball. Onto the stone now. Is he thinking about a castle drop to secure the gold? He's a little bit light. He's actually going to need a bit more. Because he'll have 850 and you need 900, right? So. More stables as well. I think he's worried that Kilyadi might be trying to tech. He's already up to 9 manas. Instead, we can see Kilyadi's actually transitioning into Yeoman. Perfect for the Horseman plan from Puppy Paw. However, did you guys just notice that? He cancels. He pulls back. He's going to be going for the rush. All right, this is pretty crafty, guys, because if English can actually crack the timing into Imperial, Wingard Raiders pumps out so many cavalry units. It's ridiculous how fast it is. Now, normally that's a negative because normally Lancaster scales Spearmen, but they're not going to usually do that against English because of the Lombo threat. Normally, Lancaster is in this matchup going to wait until Imperial Age when they can produce them out of the Wingard. Crazy timing here. Puppy Paw also now just trying to rush up an outpost. Scout does know about the crossbows, so Kilyadi can't rush ahead. I still wait for his reinforcements, but the Yeomen aren't there yet. Right now, he's just knights, and to make matters worse, if he gets seen by these small groups of horsemen just running across with Yos, they're going to die. Yeah, look, just runs past, poke, prod, move on. Because for Puppy Paw, he understands that is the win con here. If the Yeomen don't exist, the crossbows that he has can't be beaten. Great read, and on top of that, now with the reaction out of Kilyadi, he's just chasing tail of no reward in sight. Meanwhile, Puppy Paw, with this gold now locked in, has everything he needs for the fourth age. And the Yeoman timing, man, I mean, Kilyadi, the idea was right, but the timing was not. He's going to summon the Yeoman army, but they are going to be far too late. And this is the moment Puppy Paw, of course, can just sell. And should be Wingard in the back of the base, probably like over here. No, he does it more forward. So here we go. Upgrade on the way. 16 villagers to get him there. Make it 19. Come on, Kilyadi, not like this. He's still chasing those horsemen. It's such a small group as well. And horsemen, it doesn't matter if you're against Lancaster or English, it's so impactful. You have to react to it because if these guys raid onto your tree line or whatever, like your villagers won't be able to protect themselves at all. Not against 4 ranged armor when they hit for like what, a mere 5? Yeah, 5 make it 6 because the +1. Kilyadi, no on approach, but spring on placements are in effect here, folks. Age up complete. Crossbow's now moving in. Sink shot's going to be there, but Puppy Paw, he dives deeper to dodge it. Well played. Able to back off now just to clear the heavily armored units. Second wave of knights is on the way. And the Wingard Raider rush now underway. First wave comes out. This is going to produce every 25 seconds. Gold might become a problem to access here, though. Kilyadi has a timing in mind, and he may still actually strike it. It's onto the farms. We'll get scared back. The spring placements are a problem here, guys. He just dove past them. Like, it looks good, but the issue here is that he actually has not addressed the static defenses. Springolds will once again rule the day. And just happens so much a high-level play now. Unfortunate for Kilyadi as well. Like, if he had the Rams being built a little bit earlier, but now Puppy Paw able to rush back out into the gold. This is key. Right now, he is an empty imp. Which just sounds like Tyrion has been hollowed out, but sure. No, what we mean by empty imp here is he hasn't actually got anything to show for it. He got a landmark, Gulf Battles. He hasn't got elite techs. He hasn't got enclosures. That's now coming through. That's going to be huge for gold gen. Although his food count isn't out of control just yet. He's at, what, 30 farms? Yeah, 30 exactly. Still, Kilyadi, the classic, doesn't want the age up. He wants the kill. Five Rams to this. There's no doubt. It's not someone pretending to be Kilyadi, that's for sure. This is a classic maneuver for him. Still still, it's difficult. He's going to be fighting into the network of castles buff. Sink shots! Nice hit there onto the workers. Gets rid of a few. Gets a lot of them low. But low is a no-go. He needs kills. Upgrades aren't in for Puppy Paw just yet. The footmen are being summoned, though. The Rams achieving their objective. Workers now being sniped by the Yeoman. Kilyardi's going to need a lot more than that, though, if he wants to rule this map. It's a good start. How is he going to follow up? Has he got the pressure to keep on diving now? Because it's basically just bowmen left over. A few splatterings of knights is going to be an annoyance. The footmen now come out. They've been summoned. And these are the real fearful detail. Remember, footmen, they have higher base HP. They trade out melee armor, but they have more ranged armor. Perfect against yeomen. And also perfect against cav. They actually get bonus against cavalry specifically. Still, most of the eco lead that Puppy Paw had is gone. He is scaling into men-at-arms now, but he does not have any upgrades yet. Oh, God. Windguard Raid is coming out. The timing is actually going to be perfect to chase the army away. Yeah, so Kilyardi now has to weigh up, was this worth it? Did I do enough? He's holding onto a lot of gold. His food's now being reinvested, though, so we are still not seeing an imp timing, which tells you that Kilyardi is uncomfortable with the position. He doesn't think he's done enough, and I'm inclined to agree. Despite the worker kill count, it's still a 15 worker lead for Puppy Paw, and he has enclosures now. He also has more farms coming in. I think that's the biggest issue I see in this game for Yellow. Yellow has no real raiding units, and his opponent is exploiting that by going full west. Yeah, this is actually quite worrisome for Yellow. I think if he can't find imp in like maybe 3 minutes, 4 minutes max, at that point, English is going to be fully fleshed out. Especially with this men-at-arms switch coming in. Veterancy upgrade already on the way. Footmen chasing away the bow contingent. Knights are now rotating. They're going to be looking for that tree line. Easy target for them if he sniffs it out. I mean, if these guys are the House of Lannister, does that mean that everyone who moans about them are the time? No, I'm not going to make that joke. I have to now, don't I? The Taiwaners. Instead of Tywin. Like, yeah. It's a stretch. Let me have this one. Knights. Able to get a few worker kills there. What was that, 5? Maybe 6? Pretty good trade out there. Meanwhile, the night dive from Kilyardi is a little bit wanting. He'll get 1 or 2 worker kills, but like the difference here is it's 2 TC, right? It's a 40 worker lead now. Like it's ridiculous how much he recovered in so small of a time when it came to the worker deficit, right? Because they were brought close to even after that dive in with the Rams. Puppy Paw now just so much gold to harvest, right? 3k vein at the back. Men-at-arms are going to be ignored. So there will be some other time achieved there, but at this stage, Puppy Paw should have enough gold that it's not the end of the world to have to pull back here. Does need to consider a pullback, though. Eventually. At some point. Probably. Guys? I mean, in fairness, Kilyardi, yeah, he just needs to start clubbing these down. Great value for him. Yeah, these are only Castle Age men-at-arms. They're not going to do enough work. Knights are now arriving. They're going to do a lot better. Still, decent. Unfortunately, mirrored. Oh, that's brutal. Gets caught out on the berries and another 5 go down. All right, this is all falling apart. Guys, you just see how good Windguard Raiders is. Look at the size of Puppy Paw's army. Surging out 6 units every 25 seconds. Cavalry at that. And it really is a cavalry experience. You can feel the frustration for Kilyardi in this game. And this is a sad situation, right? Like, if you had a mirrored Imperial Age, just think about how easily you beat this, guys. You just use the retinue, the garrison command, rather, to get your hands on 8 spearmen every, like, 20 seconds. You blob up 50 plus spears, the horsemen can't get in. Could English go longbows? Sure, but then you have Sink Shot. Sink Shot should actually do quite well into longbow massing. Because they're very slow, they can't dodge easily. It's really unfortunate. The difference One age will make. Well, speaking of those longbows, they're now going to start coming into the picture due to the amount of spearmen. In single shot, the problem is without the extra scaling on damage, right? Without incendiary arrows as well, you definitely feel like it kind of lacks a little. Also means if you shoot it anywhere near the men-at-arms, if you hit anything but the longbows, the sink shot's not going to register. Because the men-at-arms, remember, although they're still just castellage now, they have got the armor clad. So they're sitting at 8 ranged armor. Yeoman, reminder, do 9 damage at this stage. This is why the yeoman timing is very much situational against English. Like in a long castle, I think yeoman can be a struggle because of the men-at-arms. So, you know, we've ticked the box in a few areas, right? Like English can be very good in the feudal age because of the longbow timing, able to mass up and pressure into the Lancaster mana build. In castle age, they have this men-at-arms spam, which once they have the farms to support, it does incredibly well against yeoman spam, which then forces your opponent to do what? Go crossbows, so you can do like longbow men-at-arms yourself. Or even better in this situation, you do men-at-arms horsemen, which you can afford because you have so many farms. 54 for the English. And are we sure there was a relic duplication issue? Because I know some people were getting confused by Altai. Altai is a map that has 7 relics on, and people kept thinking their opponent was duping because they had 7 relics. I'm like, they're not. They just captured the coordinates. Oof. And Kilyadi's going to need to capture hearts and minds if he wants to try and come back in this. He's walling himself in. Understandable strategy. He's going to cover him for an age up, but guys, this might have to be Berkshire, and I want to vomit. Yeah, I think he's going to have to put a butt. He's going to have to put a I can't say it. I'm not going to say it. I refuse to say it. I'm a self-respecting... Yeah, it's going to be a Berkshire. This... The rarest of landmarks out of Lancaster. I think you see more Abbey of Kings than you see Berks. Now, it does have an advantage. It increases that House Unified buff if you go for an Olsgard strat, but he doesn't want Olsgard here. No, I think this is the signs of a dying man. And Puppy Port's going to take any and all gold away from him. He's denying the 5 relic game that Kilyadi set himself up with. There's not much left to deny. This guy's down to 46 workers. This game is all but over. Kilyadi, he gets the age up. He's got the Berkshire to assist, sure, but Puppy Paw just has tech advantage. Lombo's upgraded. Knight's upgraded. Spearmen are going to try to hold on for the moment, but it's not going to work for long. New wave is now arriving. And only 5 spearmen left over means you're about to be frontlining against cavalry with your ranged. And you have it, folks. English always winning this civil war. Always might be a stretch, but definitely feels favored on the results we've seen in recent times. Just solid timings overall. I mean, probably the outcome a lot of people had in mind player-wise, Puppy Paw to beat Kilyadi. Then again, when they looked at the civs, they might have thought twice. And you see how the sink shot can be of value if you get that longbow strike. But it's hard to see. What is interesting, actually, is like for now, Puppy Paw still needs to clear the crossbows, so we have got him adding in a lot more longbows. Still, I think for Kilyadi to win this, he needs good trades and fights. Probably like 4 or 5 times in a row. And Puppy Paw, I think if he just slows down and goes for max pop and then dives again, it's Magnifico mwah, in the bag. Also, keep in mind he has Military Academy. I said it was 25 seconds. He's down to 19 seconds to get 6 units. Ishiai caramba. It is fast. Last of the men-at-arms gone. I think if he ever gets rid of the crossbows, he'll return to it. But for now, it doesn't make sense. Nor does Kilyadi's production line. This is rough, man. Does Puppy Paw build siege then? He could. Then again, you probably got enough cavalry to just burn down a Berkshire. Berkshires have a lot of range, but they don't have insane damage. They're like a standard castle, really. And these sing shots, can we please get a good one? Oh, God, it's not even killing them. I think those double sing shots killed like 2 longbows, maybe. An outpost crawl now in the way. Puppy Paw looking to extend his aura. The longbows are winning, by the way. The crossbows are getting cleared up. Like, once that happens, it's just going to be more and more raiders. Like, it's kind of deceptive where it's like, oh yeah, Kill-Yadi's getting kind of a decent exchange. But once the crossbows are dead, I think he's just, like, done. Because he just doesn't have the gold income to resupply that. The heist is underway. Puppy Paw with the yoink. Lancaster not broken, but super annoying. See? English is broken. Boom. There we go. We figured it out. The answer was in front of us all along. Okay, so wait, no. English are annoying and broken then. A double whammy. Also, it does feel KEKW that we're saying, like, the way you beat English is you have to use English. It's a different kind of English, but use English. English. Just win. He's not even, like, let him keep on. Come on. Oh, God. Puppy Paw is just going to make him wave that white flag. He's like, I don't even really want to dive you. I just want all the relics, you know? You can keep whatever you call this. I wouldn't call it a base. It looks a bit pathetic at this stage. Manners? Who needs them? When you're this strong, you don't ask, you just take. Alright, looks like Kill-Yadi's been broken. Scootage is on the way. But I think he's going to have to scoot over now. There's just no army left. And perfect time now for the Knights to just dive past onto the farms. Or we could just stand here. I think at this stage, Puppy Paw's like, nah, there's something that feels good about just taking all the relics before the game ends, you know? Just as long as just a 5 relic finish, this feels pretty good for English. Wait, the Berkshire! The Berkshire actually comes in with a snipe. Unfortunately, there was a third monk that had the range on that thing. Ah, there you go, guys. Yorkists win. Call yourself, like, bro, you have a whole sequence of events, Agincourt, Yeoman, but you don't have Longbowman. That's all I gotta say. Oh, man. What a game. What a game. Alright. Let's see. What we got here. Yo. You guys want Core versus Numidon live? Or do you want Starflarky? He did mention 1 or 2 games. I mean, we gotta do a Core. Like, it's a rematch on the same map. We gotta do the live. And then we do the Starflark, yeah? 1 second. I need to send a message as well quickly. Can we gamba? Oh, I guess we can gamba. Yeah, alright. We'll pause on that Starflark one. Sorry, mate. People are obsessed with gamba. Have we got... Is Faplop here to set it up? Or do I need to open it up and do it? One sec. Where am I? Who will win game? Core or Numidon? Sorry. I just got like one on my download. I'm like having to explain the system to him in probably more detail than it should take. Alright. There we go. Let's get underway. It's unbelievable. This filthy, atrocious House of Lancaster spammer actually picks other civs. The best part is, he picks it after requeuing into Core, who he's just been using Lancaster against. And I think Core was expecting a whole matchup that he could counter with this English pick. Welcome back to the channel, folks. Let me get rid of those name covers, because these guys do not try to pretend to be someone else. It is Core up against Numidon. I am seeing way too much gorge. I'm going to lose my hair at this rate. I'm going to make sure it quickly finds its way out of KPMM. This has to be like the most played map at this stage. It's getting ridiculous. But Numu, man, what a switch up. This guy's been playing Lancaster non-stop. I think we've cast like 3 or 4 Lancaster games of him in a row. He even had one just a little bit earlier against Core. That was Chinese versus Lancaster, in which Numidon, to be quite frank with you, demolished Core. Now we get Byzantine English. A very different matchup, actually. Biz, they used to have some really good timings against English with the longbow on the Merc timing. But that was before these nerfs came into systems. So kind of curious to see how it plays out post-nerfs. Wonder if Hippodrome was also a potential option here for Byzantines. Hippodrome that has been growing in popularity and became probably one of the big shining standouts of the recent S-tier tournaments we've been seeing. Yeah, I've got Predickies up, and it looks like a lot of people do not trust Core. I mean, Numidon has been looking pretty solid, and I actually think this is like secretly becoming his signature civ. He's remarkable in the Byzantines. Very good at these aggressive timings. Wonder who is going to be playing aggressive here, though, because we're approaching the point of feudal age. Core hasn't moved over to stone. So I think we might be looking at a good old-fashioned longbow rush. Which, should Numidon realize, could set up quite nicely for a Hippodrome switch. More likely we'll just get Longbow Horseman. No, it is Abbey of Kings. Okay, but not 2 TC, right? Like, we've still got 0 gathering onto stone. Only 1 person on wood as he's stacking. And 2 still on gold. He's shifting more across the wood now. What is he up to? I wonder if there's like a paranoia that it could be Hippodrome, and he needs to confirm that it's not, because his scout's on the opposite side of the map. Technically, like, because, yeah, oh, wow, yeah, he actually didn't even scout the berries here, guys, which means Core doesn't even have confirmation on whether it's necessarily like a Hippodrome or a Grand Winery. Did he at least? No, he didn't even scout the sheep, so he couldn't even see if the villagers were gathering on food. So this is pretty blind, actually, out of Core. But it is going to be a standard Grand Winery anyway. So I wonder what the idea is. Maybe Core's looking for a few horsemen plus the king, just to harass, and then a delayed 2 TC. Because the problem here with playing 1 TC is your economy is way too weak. Like, there's a reason why most English players always just steer towards 2 TC. Compared to a lot of other civs in the game, your 1 TC play doesn't have many upsides. I mean, the farm transition is a little bit better these days, but you know, you compare that to Byzantines with the system scaling, this percentile scaling, they get so much value out of by, you know, 15, 20 minutes. It's hard to hold a candle towards that as the English. I am still curious what the gold is for. Maybe Core's looking for this lean timing into blacksmith play. How many people are still actually playing English, by the way? This is This is guilty sins exposed moment. Be honest. Are you a Lancaster main now? Have you like, man, I really want to keep playing the English, but they just don't deliver anything anymore. I've moved on. See, English a lot in team games, 2v2s, normally team with French. That makes sense. I think, like, historically, those are the two core civs for a lot of people. And also, actually, they combo really well. You've got a static civ that can also play greed with a raiding civ. French, by the way, has probably been the longest existing meta civ in team games that I can think of. I play them now, they're off meta. There we go. There's the hipster response I was looking for. Numidon, second TC coming in. Oh, wait, what? That's a crazy switch. Numu, Core's going to come in on this. And this, no, is that too far out? I think that might be too far out. He has got the Acrotoid to minimize the damage he takes. King, really chunky though. On top of that, he has got Horseman coming in to assist. What just happened in this game? Numidon, maximizing on greed. Acrotoid hasn't got long left. He's got 10 seconds, so you really need to just commit onto the TC sooner rather than later. That King is down to 68 HP, though. It looks like Core is not going to be able to break him. Yeah, he's got the Lombo follow-up, though. And I mean, this is the weakness of 2 TC play against English, right? Is that the Lombos can reach in and snipe very easily. And the good news for Core is he did scout this incredibly early. Even better news, the King is still alive. The reason that's important is usually when Lombos dive a TC, they might be able to achieve kills or harass for other time, but they usually take a bit of arrow fire from the TC in response. By having the King, you can fix all that damage. A very powerful play. Fixed a lot of the concerns. Like, if you remember back in the days where English used to dominate, it's because they had the campfire healing. When they took that away, English just kind of fell over. Then all of a sudden, Abbey of Kings, people start talking about it, but it only makes sense for Horseman. Mister, the only one who really played and pulled it off in competitive back in those days. Then you see this steer into a new build with the King. A King that seemed meaningful at first, but quickly became meaningful. Lombos will be able to stop gold gathering, berry gathering. Yeah, this Grand Winery has had, like, no value, and Numidon now having to go spears. Oh, God. This is a horrible position for the Swede. He'll be building spears into Lombos. On top of that, Core's been gathering gold, so he should have a blacksmith drop coming soon. We'd love to see him aim for it around, like, the 9th Lombo. That's when you start to get, like, damage variants that's worth it. Because you'll start to research the Steeled Arrow. By the time you complete it, you'll probably be up to about, like, 12, 13 Lombos in total. Nice little stab in there. Does get a worker kill. Nemu, just so much idle time as well. Was this really necessary? I think what... I'd have to double check the replay, but I think what maybe happened here is Numidon may have scouted the Abbey of Kings and then not checked the stone, but just assumed. Right? He didn't trust but verified. He just trusted. You know, he got his... God, I needed like a really bad example. He got his news off of Reddit. That's a good example right now. Guys, you've been seeing all those like tinfoil hat threads. This person has been banned from tournaments. This person wanted to punch this person in the face. And then it just gets exposed. Actually, that's not a thing. Actually, that's not a thing. Core, getting the outpost up is great, by the way. Like, oh my god, the spawn for it as well. Berry and berry. So no mercs at all. Like, this game is pretty horrible for Numidon. This is starting to turn into like one of the worst games I've seen for a Biz player in a long time. He just doesn't really have anything but wood. And you're not Knights Templar, so that's not a good feeling. Limitane upgrade is going to be coming through. Obviously need that. Numidon. The idea of the Spearman first is to stop you getting dove. Horseman is interesting though. I actually quite like it. To counterplay the longbows. The only weakness of this, of course, is that you just don't have much food at this rate. Numu's down to his last sheep. How do you even afford horsemen in this economy? And you see how good the Lombos are getting their snipes in. There's no textiles. It's not even like Numidon's been that greedy with the farm placement, right? It's just 2 rows out from the TC. That's just how good Lombos are at this. Yeah, the interesting thing is like the skip on the Council Hall, by the way. Like, Council Hall would have given him a much earlier timing to, like, Lombo, but it wouldn't have given him as much persistence because he wouldn't have had that heal. Eventually, the injured Lombos become a liability, but with this type of build, it's very hard for that to ever occur. We have got to sneak out into the deer. Double tower from Numidon. Meanwhile, the core has moved north of that villager. Love this. Just keep the work on the front side because maybe down the line, there's value play into something like, you know, Rax Men-at-Arms when you have enough farms. And the scout dies too for Numu. He can at least fix that. He went for stables after all. But easier said than done when you've got 272 food a minute, man. Oh, God. I think I'm going to have to do a charity stream to maybe raise funds to feed the Numidon. For as little as 1 prime sub a month, you could help feed a Numidon. A malnourished Numidon. We won't feed him, we'll feed ourselves instead, but it could theoretically feed a malnourished Numidon. Gift greatly. Gift bountifully today. Subscribe. Oh, Numidon is poor in every way imaginable. We don't even have a single blacksmith tech. Meanwhile, Core, he's about to have free. And it's the free he'd need to win. Archer's going to chase on in. They're looking for the snipe trade into the Limitane. It's just all about protecting the horsemen. The Lombos are actually like the secondary factor here. If he gets enough ponies, he just wins the game. He's just going to dive on in for it. There's just not enough spearmen to truly contest him here. Behind this, I imagine we've got like a ram that's going to be prepped next. Siege engineering is about to complete. Lombos did hang around. I'd say that was maybe like Core's first mistake in this game. Is like that type of dive. Probably didn't need the Lombos to commit too deeply. I wonder if it would have been better to just wait for the ram. Because if you idle the food anyway, Numidon doesn't have anything. Yeah, so I actually lost quite a lot because there wasn't even a micro away of the injured horseman over time. Still reduces Numidon's army down to basically nothing. And now we get the more definitive play. Double ram coming in. Perfect way of dealing with the outposts and also actually the farms, guys. Yeah, you can start to strip away a lot of the value Numidon has here. And the beautiful thing about Lombo Ram is it's very difficult for villagers to snipe those rams. Because of the fact that the Lombos are always on guard. Speaking of Lombos, 12 minutes. I'm sorry, I should laugh. We're 12 minutes into the game, and we're about to see the first mercenary group for the Byzantines. Oh my god. When did you last say that? Oh, the outpost is ambitious, Nimu. Still only 5 workers ahead. A big nothing ball in this type of game. Deer being played onto. Core understands that he can't afford to add too many more farms right now, especially with the double ram play. Doesn't wait for the rams, by the way. A little bit surprised by this. Horsemen are going to dive past. They'll find the freebies. Numidon without wheelbarrow. He actually just runs past the spearmen. There's so few of them because now the horsemen, they're going to dive onto those rams. Lombos come out for the party. They'll target onto the spearmen. The rams, a little bit threatened, but they've got enough HP here. The horseman count is going to fail him. Numidon about to be locked out of food. Villagers will try to run away, but the Lombos are going to start sniping those down as well. King does go down. The secondary outpost doesn't even have a garrison. Oh boy. Man, this is brutal. Villagers are going to try to run north, and unfortunately, Core just scouted that because of the lumber camp. Man, props to Core for the way he's played this, by the way. We talked about how English just feel too good doing 2TC to not do it in most cases. And I love that he's just taken a different approach. In fairness, I do wonder if this actually would have even been worth it if it wasn't for the bait and switch. You know, essentially baiting Numidon to do 2TC. Because I don't think he was originally envisioning 2TC here. So what does Numu do? I mean, he's got more farms coming in. Like, in theory, there is a threshold where he will have an economy. But do you ever get those games where you wonder at the end if it was even worth it? I feel like this might be one of those games because, yes, if you beat him, it's like, oh, what a miraculous comeback. But it's also the pain, man. The pain of the journey. Core, I did think maybe he considered going like Castle Age, but he just continues like this. And what the hell? The villages? They ran all the way over? And by the way, if your flux is showing these two having the same color, you have a really weird flux, my friend. This is teal and green. They're definitely not that similar. Horseman Numu. Hello. First raid of the game. He does not have Expilatores. That makes me sad, but he's got plenty of gold anyway. Would have been nice to make kills easier, however. Remember, he needs kills. With the Abbey of Kings, anything you don't kill is going to be healed up to full. Every little counts here because Core is 1 TC only. The pathing from these villages, oh my god. He keeps blocking him. One extra horseman keeps getting in the way. That was a fantastic strike by Numu. 7 workers up now. Unbelievable. I can just already imagine the molding. Numu's defense force isn't completely outclassed, by the way. Numbers still favor Core, but I'm kind of impressed Numidon has this much. The problem is it's not all at home right now. He's gonna have to hide on the other side of his base. The double TC dive. Lombos are getting target fired, by the way. He's ignoring the horseman intentionally. If he plays this right, Core's going to sack his Lombos and lose to Limitane. And he's doing it. He actually is doing it. Look at it. The LB count is getting low. There's only 8 left alive. Does need more Limitane. Horseman is trying to chase on in here. Core stuck in a choke point, not able to overwhelm the Lombos at the back, and this is a mistake! The dive backfires! Core has to tuck tail and run. Numidon, all of a sudden, now turning it into a military even game. Definitely more value for Core, but in terms of quantity, defense holds. Core, I wonder if you now just take Castle. Because that did not go according to plan. Definitely looks like he's been trending towards it. The farm cluster count is only 2, though. Third one's coming in now. Once you have 3 farm clusters, your economy is good enough for this. And there it is. It is going to be the King's Power. So 2TC on 2TC soon. But Numidon now, well, he's got a big issue. It's a giant hill to climb up to get to Castle here. Good thing he's got a landmark that matches. No, he's not going to be that. Guys, system of the first hill actually kind of needs to rework. I still think it should just give a 6th level to systems. That would actually fix it, and I don't think that would be too broken. Strong, yes, but like broken, no. Because the thing is, like, Golden Horn Tower is so good because the level 5 system buffs it up so much straight away. But if you're getting that level 6 system, you can't have the Golden Horn Tower. Oh my god, Core, you can't have this type of position while attacking. Lombos. Is it me? Or has Core spent this entire game just throwing his Lombos to the wolves? He really has. Grand Winery somehow has been brought down to on fire. That's going to be fixed, though. Yeah, like, he may not be able to get the berries, but he will be able to soon. So he wants to keep this alive. And we'll get the burn through. So Fort Outpost is finally removed 18 minutes. Kind of impressed, actually, that he got this many Lombos, considering just how berry-starved he was in this game. This came in pretty clutch, I think. The extra 5 workers out here, because remember, when you gather from berries, look at the rates. You get 50% olive oil versus olive groves only being 20%. Numu now looking for the counteroffensive. In fairness to him, like, this could work. Core didn't switch up. He didn't go, for example, men-at-arms or knights. Understandably, not knights against Limitane, right? He just stuck to the longbow horseman. He's swimming on, waiting on the wings. Horsemen are going to go for the dive in. Villagers will have to vacate the area, and this needs to be answered in kind. Does scout the King's Palace. Does see the monastery. He knows exactly what's up. More Limitane are going to be needed here for Numu. He's got a few trickling out, but he's trying to be lean about this to get the castle playing. Oh, God. Oh my God, that's dirty. Numu, he never built a new outpost. That is filthy from Core. The double racks on the flank. And this is going to be big because Numidon's main army is in Core's base right now. Golden Horn Tower on the way. Needs another men-at-arms upgrade to come through. Needs some gold access as well. The front side has been idled out. However, with the Lombos vetted up, Numu cannot dive. He has to back away. Arms getting hit again. Numidon refuses to die easy here. Still, this point is getting painful. Yes, you've got Spearman against Horseman, but you're an age behind. So these guys with mass are trading well. Doesn't see the Golden Horn Tower tech up, so that's the upside for Numu. Still, these Horsemen finding great value. Akratoy is still on cooldown, so Numidon can't even turn with his own spears. Has to bring the army all the way home. And that relief of pressure is a big deal. Core can now go for relics. In fact, wait, is he going to find the workers? Oh, please. Please walk in. Walk in. Just do it. Do it for the... He's too distracted. Yeah, he didn't notice. I mean, Fennis is green as well, which makes it a bit harder. And here come the first men-at-arms. Castled up already. Into the grove. No. Numu, this is where desperation mode's going to hit hard, man. Ranged armor 2 is already on the way. The left side flank is definitely not safe in this game. Before this, Numidon was getting away with it time and time again because, I lose villages, but it's 2 TC. That's not the case anymore. This is a growing worker lead because they're both 2 town center, but Core's the only one getting kills. Cataphract is going to be a good defense, though. The problem is, if Numidon wants to try and stay in this game, it's not enough to just defend. He needs to now attack in a big way. And his Cata play just got revealed in his base. That's important. It means that Core can start prepping the reaction. He already has quadruple archery range. Would love to see crossbows here. Actually, no, he's against longbows, right? Like, it's probably easier just to go for the spearman. Is it? I mean, spears protect your base, right? So, like, if you play longbow for... No, this is weird. This is really weird. Now, this is the thing about Biz English that gets odd. It's like, oh yeah, just build spears, but you can't. You never used to have this problem because Cataphract wasn't really that popular back when English was popular. I think probably the safest play here for Core, it actually might just be men-at-arms crossbows. It's a bit dicey because of the Lombo factor, but you've got a good enough economy to justify it. And yeah, Numidon just scouted. He's like, oh, okay. I see what's happening here. He could go for a Kira Siphon to clear the double racks now. And Core has fully slowed down. Yeah, it's going to be Raxus on the front side. Armorclad also just kicked in. So his boys just got a lot tankier. Props to Numidon, by the way, for keeping up on food. See the numbers? He's actually competing here, which is really surprising with the pressure he's been under. Also with the economy difference, but that's where the system effect is really powerful. It's only level 3 system, but an extra 18% coming in handy here, giving him like, what, about an extra 10 workers? In terms of gathering rate, anyway. And it is going to be a nice switch up, but, I mean, I'm starting to really like Numidon's position. This choice to go Knights doesn't really answer the Cataphract threat. And by the way, like, Cataphract against Lombo is disgusting. It's so easy to dive them. Which is what he's looking to do. He's got the trample at the ready. Numidon gonna keep chasing. He can actually bypass this. Here we go. Trample comes through. The one man with the phalanx. Hold. Oh, this is not going to work. Lombos get chased back. Great maneuvering by Numidon. The cataphract timing there on the point. Wallow's going to come in to reset things. Carved him up like turkey. Lombo lead now with Numidon. We've got more troopers coming on the flanks just to try and be a nuisance. The men-at-arms not really impactful here, guys. Like, not against Kata. And all that forward infrastructure is now going to be moot. It's going to get the bone on the outpost to minimize any damage taken. Clear up the racks. Core behind this has extended the farms. He's up to 39 now. Fairness to Numu, though. I mean, he's at 38, guys. Like, he's actually kept up this whole time. This is crazy. Soon to be level 4 Sistan as well. Needs a lot of gold for this Kata plan. Relic game has definitely been won by Core. Like, economically, he's ahead. There's no doubt about it. You see the impact of these farms now. But he needs to start springing into action. And here we go. Crossbow production underway. This is the thing that's been missing up to this point. This is his answer to the threat. Like the timing as well around horsemen plus crossbows, he needs an answer to that Lombo mass. The good news is, the way that Numidon's playing this on pace, he's not waiting for the Lombos, which means you can engage them separately. Needs to get that troop count up fast to do so, though. A little bit of out of time on the farms. Numu has to respect the Lombos as well. Like, their base damage actually quite high in the even heavy cav. And the men... No, wait, he never stopped building them! The men-at-arms are at it again! Oh my god, this proxy racks! Numu knew about it as well. But he had to go in a rush. Katas are in. Lombos are out. Not many crossbows either, so the cataphracts are actually trading remarkably well here. Still, it's not good enough. Numidon is overextended and out-ecoed. The Katas are now reacting to the men-at-arms. You actually see how well they contest this. It's the extra armor. Goes a long way. You have to remember with the cataphracts, like, there was no teardrop shields, so no +1/+1. Only ranged armor for them. So the men-at-arms are actually trading a lot better than they should. Will eventually get cleared up. But there's another wave again. Oh my, dude, this is just toxic. This is just getting silly. Numidon has the right idea. He wants to attack, but he just keeps getting drawn back. But he's not out of it yet, guys. Look at what Numidon is up to. He gets a Mango Tower on the north side gold, and he's going to be going towards Imperial in a matter of moments. What the hell? Just look at the destroyed value. Like, that tells you how. That's crazy. This far behind? He did just sell out his own villages. Oops. And the foreign engineering company's now on the way. So that's going to give Lombos access to volley. Nesta B is not really valuable here. The other things that you get from foreign engineering company, not really valuable. I do actually wonder, weirdly enough, that was kind of comical, if this would have been the type of game where going for Palatine School made more sense. I can't believe this toxic Mango Tower. Unfortunately for Numu, he needs another one to really lock Core away. I guess you can see why Numu would do attack instead, by the way. Like, the problem with trying to just all-in English is it's English. We saw how hard it was for English to actually beat Byzantines with Defender's Advantage. Now imagine English with the attack speed aura, with the Abbey of King's fallback. It's still to this day the hardest civ to break defensively. And I'm trying to think, is there actually a harder civ? Maybe House of Lancaster, because it forces you to attack into them so early. But like, outside of that, like, English has always been king for this kill me if you can type situation. And you never can. Cool. Now getting ready to age up himself. Elite contract upgrade is on the way in for the Byzantines. 20 seconds out. Just look at the mini-map, though. Like, this is ridiculous. The Raxes are finally getting cleared. Oh, no. He tried to secure the gold. Has to run away, because the army right now is bogged down dealing with the raids. Eesh. The elite contract upgrade, like, the horsemen are going to start to struggle a bit against Lombos. Damage has now been inflated, up to 11 per strike. Villagers still, though, are struggling, and that is an unexpected and unforced choice. We've got Berkshire coming in. Core. He's looking for a Sacred Site win condition. Okay. Color me a little bit intrigued and also surprised. I wouldn't have expected him to like lean to the Sacred Site win con, but I mean, we saw him struggle with these dives earlier on. It felt like it was costing him the game, so just locks it in for safety. Needs to be gathering some stone, though, to get extra secure. I guess the problem is, like, is this a reliable win con against Byzantines in Imp? Because in Imp, they have raw cannons, and raw cannons are great at dealing with emplacements in castles. Emplacements here, just arrow fire slowly beating the knights. Army's going to react. We'll shut it down fully. I guess the good news about Berkshire is it can deal with raw cannons. Could cover half the map. Yeah, he could have placed it like up here, right? I think there's just about enough room. And then you should connect on both sides. Or you go really greedy and forward place it here, but that would probably get you killed. I think he was a bit paranoid because he understands that like Numidon's army is quite powerful. Like Numidon's army is better right now. So he didn't want to take the unnecessary risk. Like maybe here would have worked as well for double Sacred Site, but like still, it's a case of if you're over ambitious, you're going to die to a Byzantine attack. Because Core's army isn't really that much better. It's actually worse. Especially with the elite Lombos in. Speaking of this Lombos, there's a switch, which is an interesting one. That must be the Golden Horn Tower griefing. It is, yeah. You don't really want Streltsy against Lombo. They just die before they get in range. And wow, what? He just called it. I mean, there was a night raid in, but oh my god. Like, I don't know. After the way that played out, I thought we might see more, but I mean, props to Numu for trying to find a way, but credit to Core for the way he played that. That proxy Rax play changed everything. Every single time that Numidon was ready to attack, that proxy men-at-arms play kept making him run back to his base. Great work from Core. Oh my god. He wants to attack, but he can't, I guess. Oh my god. Cool game. Okay. Let's see. What else can we check in on? Op Civ? Like, wait, are you calling English OP now? Are we just going through the motions? See, this is happening again. Everything's OP, guys. Therefore, nothing is OP. We solved it. Maths? Bruh. I feel like I'm on Numidon watch. I want him to mix it up. And I did by clicking on WAM, but I mean, dude, we gotta watch this, right? Yeah, absolutely, we gotta watch this. I'm starting to look a bit like a Numidon fanboy. Or maybe I just want to see him lose. Okay, let's get into it. Welcome back, one and all, to Legends from the Ladder. Numidon always on this Lancaster pick, but Wham is spinning up Ibids on Hill and Dale. And guys, I am intrigued by the Ibid picks at the moment. Ever since we watched that game from Recon with the Mastersmith build, I'm looking curiously and wondering if it's maybe just a little bit broken. I wonder if Wham's going to try for it here. It's an interesting matchup to try and play aggro in. Normally against Lancaster, it just feels futile. We'll see. To open the game, though, is going to be Numidon going for the aggro. Going 2x speed just to catch up for the other game. Is the game looking to steer those spears into the base, and Wham. Bit of a rough spawn, actually. Berries, gold on the same side. Has got the deer behind as normally you do quite often with these type of spawns. Weirdly enough, Numidon actually got a full forward spawn, rather. Didn't go onto the deer, by the way, and that's intentional. With the 20% buff gathering rate on sheep, it's actually more optimal for Lancaster to stay on sheep than go on deer, which is kind of crazy, actually. It's why we so often see the spearman opening. Nimi is just going to start poking. We have not got a villager pull, though. He's happy and content to just do a little bit of harassment here. And, ooh, military ring reinforcement. So Wham's trying to take advantage of the fact that Lancaster doesn't often like building yeoman early on. So he's going to try to punt at him with, like, the counter spears gradually, right? So he'll be able to arrow fire them down. This has been, like, a pretty popular player, I want to say, against these type of civs. Ones that just don't inherently like their longbow choice or the archer choice. Lancaster Castle's pretty wild from Numi, though. Secures his gold, also fall towards the berries, but the stone is far, far off. This means that Wham can actually harass this down the line if this is a mana spam. And because it's Lancaster Castle, to a certain degree, it has to be a mana spam. I will say that, like, one element to consider here is actually, like, Lancaster Castle play is a little bit weaker against Ibids, because one of the big clutch plays is the Demi Lancer play, which is really bad against Ibids because of these Desert Raiders. Like, Desert Raiders are a brilliant counterplay to the Demi Lancer strat. So Spears, in the end, achieved, like, nothing, really. They harassed slightly, but Wham just didn't really stop gathering. He took barely any damage on the workers. He's pretty happy with this. His opponent already in the Spearman means that he can now play into Desert Raiders quite comfortably. In fact, there was a misclick on the Horseman there. It's now been reallocated. So Desert Raiders coming through. So does Numidon go Hobbler, or are we going to see Lombo play? Like, how do you want to shake this tree? Because Hobblers is like an intriguing concept, but I just don't really like it here against Mass Desert Raiders. And Yeoman is very, very expensive. Reminder, Yeoman are, outside of Gilded Archers, the most expensive bowmen in the game. You pay a pretty penny to get your hands on them. Desert Raiders are wrapping white, by the way. Did he scout it? He did. He's just looking to poke the gold. Interesting. I thought he might go for the stone, but I guess he's a little bit paranoid that Numidon might just be going for a semi-fast castle build here with the Elsguard. So yeah, just looks to idle out the gold, because by doing that, you can A, stop mana scaling, but also B, you stop your opponent from going castle. It's a bit tricky, though, because remember, the manas fire arrows. And I mean, I do wonder if maybe the Dervish play would have been more worth it here for Wham. Because now it feels like the only thing you'll be able to harass is maybe the tree line. Which is actually a good shout here. If he puts the scout here, he'll see into the tree line with the Desert Raiders. Wait, no, he's straight up rat. Okay, this feels like a limit test, really. Desert Raider Ram spam. Have we seen anyone do this so far? It's cool, but feels very slow against mana spam, potentially. Because the thing is, like, Desert Raider is going to struggle to dive with. This isn't like when you do this with archers, etc. Because remember, Desert Raiders can't get in rams. That's the real big issue you're going to encounter here. To make matters worse, we already have Yeoman coming out from near me. Also, Select All Army is griefing the crap out of him here, guys. Like, this... Oof. So, do you go for the manas or do you go for the Lancaster Castle is always the question. The manas seems like the obvious answer. If you get rid of the Lancaster Castle, though, they all switch off. But your goal here is just to try and strip away gathering. Instead, he wants to strip away the Yeoman counter, though. I don't actually know if this is going to be quick enough. One ram against double archery range. Numu's played this craftily well. Lombo's already pushing away the Desert Raiders to Spearman. Able to scare off that one ram. Ah, oh, man, this is brutal to watch. I don't know if this would have worked with a better spawn. I feel like the spawn and Nimu's Lancaster castle placement really screwed Wham over. Like, this placement was genius. It seems obvious to just stick it on the front ramp. But, like, maybe you want to put it back here towards the tree line sometimes. Anyway, we have got Loggy Wing coming, so Wham will get dives again. I'm actually kind of impressed by the timing he's achieving on the castle play, actually. But it does make sense. Like, if you think about what Numidon's done here, he's added in 10 plus yeoman. That's almost 1,000 resources. Now with the 11th fees, it's 1,000 resources, right? Because you're paying 95 per. Meanwhile, for Wham, remember some of these Desert Raiders have been free. I think 2 of them so far at this phase. So that's offset a lot of his expenses. Steel Arrow now on the way. I think Numidon knows that he needs to do something. He realizes that he's been hoodwinked, bamboozled, had. Question now is, will he have his revenge against it? It's going to be a march across the field. Problem is, you're not actually fast on the raid because you've got spearmen. I feel like you could have actually just sacked the spearmen, let them run behind, because the yeoman can fight Desert Raiders anyway. Then again, we have God Vision. He does not. Like, for all he knows, Wham has built 4 or 5 horsemen, and he'll just die because of it. Still, the sad reality is if the yeoman had been running ahead, this wall wouldn't have complete in time. Wham still loses 2 workers for it, but the walls are up. And I do not believe that is possible. Still, Nimu, the second wave is bulked full of spears. They are on the way. Culture Wing just 20 seconds out. Wham has built reserves. I wonder, do we see Gulam to just try and hold? We've got Desert Raiders raiding in. He did find worker kills there. The wall did go up, but the gate is kind of griefing him there a little. Oops. Maybe just use the short bows at this stage if you're Nimu. It's just always awkward due to the fact that, like, Desert Raiders, unless you instantly see them, they'll get in range before you can shoot. Wall's been broken on the other side. Numidon needed some damage in that gate because it was never cancelled. Just immediately deletes the wall. Alright, this game has gotten very interesting. The back and forths on it right now. Wham into the Camel Lancers. We are going to get Desert Raiders upgraded as well. He idles out the deer, and please tell me you have sheep. He has 15 sheep. Wham was waiting for exactly this. And he's not going to slow down on his greed. He heads for the relics. Triple Dervish moving out. And they come back so quick. Like, come on every time with this shit, man. And the yeomen aren't even in position to stop it, man. He's made it work. I like, what do you want me to say? Wham. It looked a bit shaky at first, but the bait and switch out of age 2. Nimu with his huge army, he's just not doing anything. He just ring and rosied the base. And now he has to encounter Ghoulims. He'll break out in time. That's the good news. Like, if Wham had actually just been prepping Ghoulims straight away, I think he could have slammed him against the wall here and killed him. Still, Desert Rays might go in for a poke. It's only 13 yos. And remember, Desert Rays get more health now. Dervish with a wall on the side. The snipe. He's going to get it. But it kept him in position long enough for the Ghoulim to now catch up. Desert Raiders going for the trade out. And he just has to leave. Like, I think that was kind of worth it for Wham, actually. Because Nimu lost several troopers in that trade. And you still have 2 dervishes anyway. So you can still pick up Relic, right? A whole sec. Maybe not. Numidon. He turns around. He's 2-hitting the Desert Raiders. So the heal doesn't matter. We've got more Camel Lancers on the way. But that does mean Numidon now gets to camp this Relic for a little while. Damn. And he's not too far off the castle himself. Still, it's 3 Ghoulims this time. These are very hard to kill. Even with the bill hook, they've got 3 ranged armor. So Yo's losing half their damage. Also, the Dervish heal in between. Target fire is going to be on those Desert Raiders. If the Spearmen ever get cleared, you could think about actually just charging in melee range with the Desert Raiders. Camel Lance is going to move into melee in the meantime. Numidon is going to get his age up, but it's now going to cost him control on the map by the looks of it. Wow. Not actually pulling back that Lancer. There we go. The reason it's important is he still has the Dervish, so he'll heal. In fact, that's pretty smart. Guys, remember, if you have a relic, look right there, you increase the healing rate, the passive healing rate. So he's going to kiss the boo-boos better faster by doing this. That's pretty smart. You don't often see that. Like, obviously, missing out on gold gen is the thing, but, you know, if these early units are that important, it's worth skipping on 40 gold or whatever to get these back to full HP quick. Have all the games featured English or Lancaster? I feel like a lot of people are just doing it. I mean, maybe it's just Numidon. We actually, like, tried to do something other than Numu. We clicked on for a WAM game, and then we got this. King's College coming through. Does he just go for Knights anyway, and then you play into Colorvesas? Probably not, because it's Desert Raider strat. Likely, we're just going to see him do Spear Yeoman. But still, King's College is nice. Like, if you don't need the white tie, you always go King's College. The 15% discount on every tech now is huge. Like, everything. Look at it. It all gets discounted now. This scales really nicely into Imperial Age. And on top of that, there's some handy techs in here in the meantime. Right? Like, as you scale, like, early on, hill training can be pretty nice against the Desert Raider spam. But then in the late game, things like military tactics training is pretty sick. Military tactics training, remember, is the one that increases your bonus damage. Not a tech that usually gets rushed just because it's 800-ish resources. But towards the end of Castle, beginning of Imperial, it's kind of... The best way I can describe it is like having elite army tactics for your bonus damage. Only for all bonus damage types. It looks like we're getting scaling now from Numidon. He is going into the extra manas. Love to see camels build siege weapons. Yeah, dude, like, how do they do it, by the way? Like, did they... Like, instead of using a hammer, do they just use their hoof? Is that how they bang all the wood together? And how do they reach the higher up locations to hammer in the pieces? They form a camel pyramid? There's just so many myth questions on... Not me, myth, actually. Like, you know... Interesting trivia questions about ME4 that have been not answered. Ciao to Don, my boy, coming through with the deets. Let's have a look at that one in a bit. Thank you very much. Got a pretty peculiar one here. Desert Raider versus Yeoman. Doesn't Wham just die the moment Sync Shot gets complete? I also feel like Sync Shot is an ability that should belong to Japan. Because it must take, like, anime levels of fighting skills to shoot that many arrows that quickly, you know? That's what we're missing. We need to give Elona Musha, like, a triple shot ability. Shoots out in a prong. Everyone's like, I don't think Sync Shot should be removed from the game. No. Everyone just needs their own kind of Sync Shot. That's the other thought process. Because here's the thing. People who don't play Lancaster like, I don't like losing to this ability right now. Yeah, but if I could offer you your own ability to use back them, you're going to say no, but then you'll use it and you're like, this feels pretty good. I kind of want more of it. You know, it's like when we make all these arguments about, oh, we don't need a gun. And then you go to, like, the range and you shoot a 50 cal, like, holy crap. Right? It's when people are like, KP, why'd you break your ankle? You didn't need to climb. It's like, have you tried climbing? It feels great. Like, you know when you're going to dive the enemy base to get one relic, but you're going to lose, like, 50 troops? And everyone's telling you, like, yo, this is a bad idea, bro. Like, keep the army, win the game. You're like, but the relic heist, it's so good. Or when you lose 20 scholars trying to get a wall be like, but if it goes off. Oh. Deep down, we've all got that gambling inkling. That little itch. I guess I like the, is it like the thrill element could be considered the gamble? I don't know, it's different, isn't it? By the way, this is kind of diff. 5 man Janiques? And he hits the houses. All right. Wham's been cooking, and Numidon's about to get fried. These are so satisfying. Yeah, like the cinematic element of Manjaniques is one of the best designed things from Sultan's Ascent for sure. It does look comical when they do this against an army and do no damage, but when you hit buildings like this, oh. Numu's in desperation mode. It's a Hobblar switch. It is the correct answer. Remember, if Hobblars are able to charge in, veteran Hobblars, 4 hits is all you need for a kill on a Mango. It's that efficient. Problem is, you're going to have to dive in against camels. The good news, though, is a lot of them are desert... No! That's oh, that might be the worst arrow rain he has shot all day. That is not a heavenly arrow. That right there is a bargain bucket arrow. Oh my god. A completely whiffed opportunity there for Numu. Why Knights? I think he just wants them to raid. It is pretty standard for a lot of civs to still do this. Build like 1 or 2 Knights to just raid your opponent. It's not for the main fight. Our main fight is going to be difficult though. Good lord. The choke point makes it even more so. Mass spam incoming, but we have got a spring reaction. The Manjaniques! You can't dodge incendiary shot. The sing shot does nothing. Okay, that's a complete waste. He's dead. I can't believe that. I'm telling you guys, Manjanique incendiary shot, this is why you stick to it. It may not sound like a lot of damage, but the scatter is undodgeable. Meanwhile, these sink shots required 0 dodging. Oh my god. I feel like I want to call that one the duality of sink shot. And then you just have like 2 versions. I don't know, is that uploadable or not? It's very short. I'll leave that. I don't know if that one's uploadable. I feel like we talked about this where like under 20 minutes, I'm not sure if people that engaged. It was kind of back and forth. I still feel like Wham had the edge, but like there was like potentially ways or whatever. Right? Oh my god, what a game. Alright. Mr. Don Artie has been at it. He's cooked up something chef specialo. A pizza da pizza for us.
Most of them are basically...
Somehow I've clicked on a Meowius stream. Oh, didn't someone mention something about like a meetup? She had been talking to me about a meetup. We talked about something in London. I haven't said where I'm going or not because I don't know if I can. I don't know. I'm playing it by ear still. Don, this game wasn't on your main account, right? Which account was this on? I guess we can find it via Lash. I don't think Lash smurfs at all. Is it on your main? I clicked on the wrong one. There's like another Don. Byzantine. It is your time. Byzantine strong. Woof woof. Great time to play a game. Yeah, there's loads of people playing the game. Maybe in the summer it's a little bit lower, but... do you say it's the Rocky River one, right? Is the Rocky River one the Delhi versus Ayu? Is that the one? Or is it the Mongol Malian? Rocky River it is, baby. Toot toot. Sorry, I'm just giving Puppy Paw an answer. Because he's asking about timing. Because obviously Puppy Paw, he's busy with a real job. He's got a job now. By the way, I just realized this camera is not central, is it? Should be there. About there. What do you mean? Don sometimes shows his losses. The Mesmeric Mima has returned. One and all, welcome back to the channel for Donati time. That's right, it's one of our favorite pastimes from the ladder. This time on the deli. Huh? Yo, Don, what's going on? Are you becoming a sweat lord? Brother, like, we need to talk about this. Like, I think AoE 4 is changing, Don. I think us being a competitive metagame may be a bad thing. This is not what I expected. Don Hardy picking the deli. Is deli a sweat sieve nowadays? Always was, brother. Always was. Don's here just like, I just want elephants, okay? Anything for the elephants. If you guys are not familiar with Don, this man has a legacy in Age of Empires 4. He played Diff. You might remember him as former name. What's that guy in like Simpsons where it's always like formerly like known as this and that. Yeah, you might recall him formerly known as Intel Dual Pentium Processor or many other names along the way. God, this guy has given us great memories in Age of Empires 4. Always glad to see him back playing on the ladder. I remember 5 TCs. I remember that infamous game against a Mongol player, whereas the English, he outpost rushed the Mongol player. That was Phyllis Bodo stuck in the corner crying like a baby about it. But this time it's going to be Lash on the receiving end of whatever Lash's Don looks to whip him with. Ibid versus Deli. This has been quite a fun matchup, actually, recently, with the Ibids having some good tempo in the early phases off of playing the Eco Wing. I actually think secretly Ibids would thrive underneath the military Master Smiths play. Wonder if Lash is going to try it here, because the Master Smiths, it gives you 1,000 resources in terms of free tech, and also gives you the production rates and the tech timings to beat Deli at their best game, which is Age 2. But Lash instead has gone for the dock. Oh, yes, I remember that beer 3-in-1 game where you guys just kept losing villages. Wait, wasn't a game kind of like that on this map? I still remember the H3 game where you played onto the pond and onto the deer, and then you proxy raxed into your opponent. Good times. Good times. That one was a little bit more recent. I think that was like last year. Man, it's crazy to think actually how long Age of Empires 4 has been around now. Like, we are in 2025, midway through. Towards the end, the game would have been in existence for, what, 4 years? Have I really given 4 years of my life to this game? What have I got to show? No, oh my god, 4 years? No way. Or is it 3? It must be 3. No, it is 4. What have I done with my life? Oh no. Anyway, Dome of Faith coming in. Boo! This is way too ordinary. When did the memes begin? That's the real reason why we watch Don games, for the oddities. Last moment of truth. Are we going to be getting Master Smiths? I think... I actually do believe that Recon has been cooking and people will back it up soon. Master Smiths is like kind of crazy. And if you think about it, the reason why you go Growth Wing is usually to aggro, but I think for Lash, the reason why he values Growth Wing over Master Smiths here, he may be forced to aggro, but he also wants the option to duck out if he doesn't need to. If you go Master Smiths, you almost put yourself in like this awkward position where you have to do something. Otherwise, what was the point of the tech up? But if you don't have to do anything, but you went Growth Wing, Well, that's still fine. You've got 3 extra villages, so you just get a much quicker tech timing. Lash, at this stage, probably wipes some sweat from his brow. He's like, oh, thank God, he's playing a normal game. I wonder if Don's name still just holds that credence with people, where, like, when you see him hop on, and you're like, oh, no, what crap is he up to this time? Right? I feel like you're going to always have to be worried about him with that. Oh, man. Guys like the boogeyman. So Don, everything just standard so far. He didn't even try to contest the pond. Like, Lash actually played this really well, by the way, just hanging around with a villager onto the deer. Just trying to be efficient, because otherwise, like, you don't have wheelbarrow. It's a really long run back. Normally, you'd want to run back, because when Delhi get age 2, you're freaking out about Ghazi. Not Lash. Lash goes extra greedy. He's going for an additional dock. Okay, he's going to have to get back soon, though. The stables is coming through now. Still no wheelbarrow, and looking at the macro of Lash. I thought this was going to be a Desert Raider opening, but no, guys, it's actually going to be Spearmen. Like, you can actually open Desert Raiders to contest the Ghazi. Like, you get 1-2 Horsemen plus a DR. But instead, it looks like he's going to go Spears to contest. That's going to force Archers, and then you go, like, what, Horsemen? Yeah, there's the stables. Horsemen makes sense over Archers here, just because you've got more food. Oh, Donald, I'm disappointed. I have not seen the memery yet, and we are 5 minutes into a game. I don't know, maybe I've just become impatient with Don. But, like, he kind of set this expectation himself with the games where he's basically, like, outpost rushing you at 5 minutes in. So, it's not really my fault I expect this of him. It's his own fault. Good eyeballs. Yeah, Lash didn't deplete his berries at all. But that's kind of to be expected. Remember, he went for a fishing opening, so this is easy to achieve. When you go for a fishing opening, a lot of your food's going to come here because your initial gathering is actually on wood. There you go, guys. If you're ever worried about optimizing like a pro and getting the most berries out of the growth wing, just build fishing boats. We solved. So Lash, one thing about this DR and waiting for the Desert Raider is like, it's a very, very long production time, right? So if you're relying on that as your attack point, you're risking losing something. Looks like just showing up is enough to freak Don out. Him seeing the Spearman, yeah, it is going to get the archer reaction. And this is fine because your opponent has gone Desert Raider as well, so it's an additional way of sniping out the aura. Remember, if you get rid of the aura, Ghazi can just beat Horsemen. Alright, 1's if you prefer Don's position, 2's if you prefer Lash's. Don has got access to Sanctity, I believe. Yeah, it's been researched. He's just not pulling. Which is a little bit interesting. Like, he has got the Scholar here. I thought he tried... I think the idea was he was going to camp in the center, burn the docks, while playing for the Sacred Site. But then that got harassed off by the arrival of the Desert Raider. Does get the east side safe one. But it's not the 2-for-1er that he was looking for. You know, when I see tame openings from Don like this, I'm starting to think he's trying to qualify for like a LAN or something. Seems sus. Lash, additional stables coming. Oh yeah, he's just gonna go for a Desert Raider strat. That's not a great idea against Delhi. Delhi normally go Ghazi archers anyway, so just mass Desert Raiders, very, very greedy. But the idea for Lash is because he's got double pond, if he gets enough of them online, like Desert Raider mass is kind of unstoppable. Because even if you think you've got a counterplay of Horsemen, you take so much damage as they kite you, shooting at you, you just like struggle to commit. You're disappointed that it's not free TC Delhi? Why free? Why you stop at free? Gotta get his rookie numbers up. I mean, like, do the maths on it. There's 350 stone. Like, sure, it's optimal for one stone outcropping, but I see a second one over here, my friend. Don don't play free TC unless he's Abba. And even then, actually, like, Don has a very unique kind of approach where he likes to go military wing into delayed free TC. So he'll like aggro first to justify the play. That's something I've respected about Don's like thought process and his approach to the game, is that he is a very big believer in earned greed over default greed. Which I think is a valuable tool in the current dynamics of AoE4. Like at the comp level, it's very difficult to just get away with something greedy by default. Players have gotten so good, so switched on at just shutting stuff down. To like an extreme, actually. No, Archership is going to be here for Lash. He's actually going to try and... Don, come on. That's a bit crazy. Can we think about this one? The Archership is not going to die that easily. Oh my god. Lash might easily get to castle here. Well, he goes for a reinvestment. Okay, so 5 more horsemen. Whoa. Was that necessary? I feel like the Archership was actually defending him well. So Lash probably could have gotten away with kind of semi-greedy play here. Probably playing into, like, what? The Dervish timing would have been sick. If he's going to play a longer feudal, one thing I really want to kind of advise against is ignoring blacksmiths. He's done the typical Ibid thing, where they can't figure out where in the build order blacksmith goes. With 10 minutes in the game, he doesn't have a smiths, yet he has 30 units, and he's scaling more. Not to mention the type of units here. You know, you're up against Archer Mass and you've got Horseman. Makes sense, you're the counterplay, but when your opponent has Steeled Arrow, it makes a world of difference in the trade-out. Because now at this stage, you're taking 2/3 of the damage from Archers. One also awkward thing about going Horseman like this is it puts you in a weird position where you're paying a premium for a unit to just stand there. Normally, when you want to play more Horsemen, you want to be raiding, right? That's how you justify the extra 40 resources compared to the alternative choices. Wow, it's going to be culturing advancement, so he feels threatened. And why not? Like, he's got better economy right now, but remember, the fishing is not forever. In fact, this pawn's about to run out. Archers go for the trade out against the Archer ship and do get it. The Scholar's going to offset all that damage done. Demo ship has been queued up, but I don't think Don's going to stay there long enough. Unless he loses track. I think he's aware of the threat that is looming. Moves inwards a bit. Demo ship is not going to be able to connect at all. It's just there, begging to be played with. It'll be ignored. North side rushed onto now. So Don Ardy is going to be able to block him out of the center at a crucial point. Lash, he went advancement wing to avoid this problem. And he's ran headfirst into it. Decap on the sacred site, at least. Central 1 can now be captured. Don's going to move inwards, so that means no demo ship shenanigans. In fairness, he already exploited this pond. This one's actually a bigger deal because there's actual food over here. So, like, Don should have actually prioritized this secondary pond, not the starting one. But he'll come back for that anyway. And this might end up being crafty from Lash. The timing on this, actually. Knowing that his opponent should be going over there. The timing doesn't seem to be there, though. I mean, he'll get it out, but it'll just be a waste. Yeah, so he cancels and requeues. The Archers. Donald. It's time to duck. Oh, no. Not like this. It's happening. The demo. Big hit. Gets the 10-plusser. Loses the fish, but that was always going to happen. A decent chunk of damage done, but is it going to be enough? I can't believe Don just tanked that to the face. You know what the crazy part is, guys? Lash could have made it even better. If he pulled the fishing boat back, the backline of Archers would have stacked in, and it would have been probably double the kills. Don gives no crap, though. He's like, what's a little explosion between friends, you know? I go boom, you go boom, we all go boom. Shakalaka. Lash now into the Camel Lancers. Donald has chosen aggro. He is still not aging up. He's starting to save up. I don't know if he can really dive here, though. Does he really need to? I mean, Lash, yeah, you know, he got the age up, but it's advancement wing. Kind of poo-poo in a shtick. He's transitioning into archers, but that's from 0. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold up. Hold up. That is a Desert Raider. They don't die easily, Don. Don's like, but it's just a weak camel. Let's just stab it in the face. What do you mean it has 5 melee armor? That's what, 5 worker kills so far for a horseman and a Desert Raider? We'll get rid of him in the end. Expensive, though. Lash increases his lead. In terms of land eco, now 10 ahead. Which suggests somewhere along the line, Don forgot to build Don. No, no, don't queue them up now like I didn't see it. The math ain't mathing here, son. Right, so minus the 2, that should be like 53. 53 workers on land. Eco wing is free. There's a 2 differential here. So you're forgiven for 7 difference. Explain the other 6. Oh, Don. Oh, one of them explained by the textiles, but that's still 5 workers missing somewhere. He still has 3 boats? He has 2. Nice try, Mr. Math. It's a bit rough for Don. He's actually behind by quite a bit. He's also been blocked out of external food. This does not look great. This looks really bad, actually. Oh my god, they're charging as well! He reacts in the end, but the villagers, they're not running away. Okay, we're going to stop keeping count of, like, the idle TC. It doesn't matter now. Look at the count! War Elephant comes out. That will be enough to stabilize him, but Lash has gotten maximum value out of this dive. Oh my god. Archer's just essentially being ignored. Wallow is going to be able to scare him away, but there's really nothing left to pick. He killed all the workers he could here. There is, however, a trade happening. Don dove into the base, found a few worker kills as well. I think you might be right. Might be free TC time. 28 workers make it 27 for Don Artie. Oh no. Well, this is catastrophic. Lash has to be feeling like cruise mode can be activated. I mean, Don is going to be the first to pick up relics. Lash actually seems to have kind of forgotten about them. However, look at the relic spawns. He can actually recover free. He just needs to be quick on the switch now, and I think he needs it. Like, he's been struggling on the gold. He just moved out to the 8k. Please tell me Lash has remembered a mosque. He has not built a mosque. That is a little bit odd at this stage. I know he's focused on the dive, but, like, at this stage, you should feel pretty strong. Right? You should feel capable of being a little bit greedy. Lash for the crossbow switch, which makes sense against War Elephants. Oh wait, guys, I forgot. Like, he's down on eco, but we have to remember he has 2 War Elephants. So, like, he wins, right? War Elephants are actually really annoying for Desert Raiders and Camel Lancers. It's actually weird because I feel like none of the camels trade well into War Elephants. You would think at least Camel Riders, maybe Desert Raiders, but they just don't. Because the Spearman on top. The Spearman on top is brutal. Even without him, you have to remember, like, a 50 damage on a headbutt, that's a third of a Desert Raider's HP in Castle Age. And for Camels, like, I mean, they're not a specialist cavalry unit. Their debuff doesn't take effect. So yeah, Lash most definitely needs crossbow stat. Never understand why ranged elephants aren't counted by crossbows. Because they were born in the crossbow, molded by it. You know? They like, the thing is, they've become such proficient aficionados of crossbow usage, they're immune to it. Like, you guys, you know, remember that, like, what's it called? Not the Kingsman prequel. You know where the guy, like, the poison doesn't work? Because he's like, yes, I take some of this poison every single day, so it has no effect on me. That's what it is with crossbows. Their masters shoot them in the face until they can't feel it anymore. Alright, that got dark. Ah, so's the relic game for Lash. What the hell? Don, now getting the 4th relic. War Elephant's going to be engaged on. One's going to go down. The archers, they're trying to snipe out here. The crossbows are actually targeting the wrong unit. Are going to switch over now. So Don's pushing. Is going to feel pain. However, the workers, even more pain. Don, he moves out for the berries. Elephant's coming across to defend. But it's still going to cost him dearly here. Oh my god. That's game. That's got to be game. Don. Down to 22 workers. At 19.5 minutes. Lash, meanwhile, just sitting pretty at 61 workers on land. Don, the only thing he has is an elephant and a dream. Shouldn't speak about his wife that way. Well, I'm sorry. That's it. Don. It's a rough one, though. Even his military numbers are kind of a lie. 25% of it are scholars. Unbelievable game. I mean, if he finds the gold with the war elephants. Tricky, though. Lash has decent vision in the area. I guess the good news is Don doesn't really have to stretch his military fin to defend his economy. Because there's, like, no economy. What's interesting to me is that Don hasn't GG'd the game. It's like, he sees something. I think what he may have seen is that, well, he probably saw his green flag and thought he's playing Ottomans. Hasn't really registered the elephants mean he's not right now. Elephants are getting sniped, by the way. The crossbow count is reaching counterpoint. Oh my god, the war elephant needs to get out of here. This is so expensive. Oh, you can't even get away from it. Crossbows are going to chase this down. He doesn't have mahouts. It's on the way, but 30 seconds out. Which means that should be another elephant dead for Don. One more strike will do it. The Ghazi, though. Hold on. That's 6 worker kills. Another 3 coming through. This could also ripple onto the gold and the berries. Lash has been very all in one direction. He hasn't protected his flanks. He hasn't really optimized defenses. No walls, only 1 outpost for 20 workers. Don has got more royal offense to stabilize him in his base. And the Ghazi, these Ghazi could be MVPs. Raider in the name, and they'll look to do it in the game. Onto the gold they go. Lash, 0 reaction. The war elephant is also on the way. He gets between them and the tower. The Sikh shelter is going to betray him. He does realize it. War elephant's going to move in for the tower now. Ghazi going to chase down the rest of the workers. Lash, this is completely unraveling. He has no counteroffensive right now. He's bringing the army home to try and deal with this. Oh my god, what just happened? He's still a big worker lead. But the gap is closing, folks. Especially when you remember that Don has got 4 relics. War Elephant is eventually going to get chased down. Yeah, Mahouts will get it away. Because actually, here's a funny little comical detail, guys. Is crossbows don't really move quicker than a War Elephant with Mahouts. Gonna try to cut it off. Actually, that's going to be good enough. Well played, Lash. Does get in position, so nice kill. War Elephant down. Still, the Ghazi, like, they just need to be dead. Right now, Lash is losing this game because of a small group of Ghazi. It's the sole reason why this is going bad to terrible to even worse. They will finally get thrown away. They jump onto the stone line. Okay, raids are dead. And wait, what? Sure, it's time to build castles, guys. He's actually gonna try this. Oh, this is brilliant. This is incredible. $29 workers. He has half of his economy gathering stone, and the other half is dying to a lot. Oh. Don, please. So this is becoming painful to watch. Your opponent just went 2 TC. You saw him doing the stone as well. So you should know. Lash also has farms. 23 so far. Don, did he get the keep? Somewhere. Yep, on the tree line. Okay, so first keep online. Hoggening intensifies? Rolofan should be relatively safe in their own base here with the Scholar Assistance. However, the backstab, Lash, he doesn't move. He doesn't move away. He stands his ground. And the Wololo. Oh my god, he does it to protect elephants. Don Hardy. A conservatist for elephant rights. It scares them off. So Donald, he gets the castle drop. Can queue up the village fortresses now. Relics will go back where they belong, generating gold. Lash will go back to his side of the map and turn this into a macro game. Maybe somewhat unwillingly. How is this game not over? It bloody well should be. 31 villages to 64. Like, if this was Lancaster or Ottomans, like, I get the gist of it. Right? I could cook with that. I think we all could. Village fortresses, it shouldn't take forever. He's got 14 scholars. Oh no, he's taking 12 of them with him. Oh no. Village fortresses is going to take 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I kind of respect Don not just sitting at home and be like, I will now eco boom. He's like, no, I'm going to screw crap up. I mean, 14 crossbow. With 14 scholars, like, I actually think that the Wolflands don't die. And oh my god, he done it all for the 5th relic. It's mine. It's mine. Remember, he's got speed tech as well, so the scholar runs this back really fast. Okay, maybe not fast enough. Come on, man. It's okay. If at first we don't succeed, there's 13 more of us. Does he just go back to stone gathering now? Like, he actually has farms coming in, guys. The transition's happening. Village fortress is still a long way away. Doesn't Lash's army just kind of get countered by Springolds? Like, looking at Lash's army, it definitely feels like if Springolds turn up, they're having a bad day. I mean, he's got crossbows to snipe, which is not absolutely terrible. And yeah, the food on the front doesn't matter for Don, right? Like, he's got farms coming in now, and he's hunkered down on the multi-keep idea. He just brought the scholars home. Remember, they were really speedy. So there you go, 42 seconds away. Village Fortress is actually coming through now. And a raid is coming through from my boy Crackety. What is up? Thank you very much, Freddy. You sent them the right way. We have got a very odd game from Don. I don't know how he's not dead. He was down to 20 workers when Lash had 60. This game should be over. But Don is doing his best Schmiegel as he's got 5 relics. And is edging the map. Oh, a weird game. Another castle drop. Wait, he hasn't even... Like, really? Instead of the stone? Because, you know, free TC is nice, but what about 4? Just, like, twirling my hair. Am I being too greedy? And Lash, yeah, he is going for the fire mangoes. Alright, so Manjanique spam to clear the defenses. This is also doubly effective because Don's gone mass archers. Oh, no. Oh, honey, no. The Ghoulam is kind of questionable against war elephants, but it's really good against the archers. I think Don, like, if this had been springs instead of archers, pretty scary. Like, it's actually surprising how good War Elephant Springle can be. I kind of respect that Lash isn't just taking the imp. He might have to soon. You're either going to dive in really aggressively or you just go imp now because you're capped out. The problem of just all-inning is it is a castle. And although you have got the Manganiques, they're not the quickest sieger in the world. Wait, is Don? No. Donald. He's not going Imperial, is he? He looks like a guy who's getting ready for Imperial. For God's sake. You've got such a small army. And such a small economy. The little man who could imp isn't what we're looking for today. Don. He's legitimately thinking about Imperial Age. We might have to reassess now that Lash just ridden rather into the base. He's arisen as an aggressor in this. It says, oh, I found it a bit suspicious. I didn't see more elephants in my base. And there we go. Don with the reinvestment. The war elephants have been queued up. He could try for a wall lore, but the problem is there's just so much range. Let the scudding begin. Imagine 8 shots coming through. Dome Faith down to half HP. Scholars, they're there. He's going to begin it. The wall lores come out. Here we go. Can he kill him? Lash! No! He gets it! Don! Should be dead! He has no right to this! Are you kidding me? You want to see quickest comeback in the history of comebacks? That right there. I would stop the stream after that. I would stop the stream and go outside and touch some grass after that. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm done. Oh my god, Don. Oh my freaking god. Someone clip it and ship it. Holy crap. I can't. The sad part is, and this is the thing, Lash, you probably said it straight away afterwards. All I needed to do was walk away. That's all. Because, guys, like, the counter to that strategy. Sorry to burst the bubble here. But the counter to that strategy is you just walk away. Because if you walk away, the wall lulls go off and then they go on cooldown. But if you try to do that, there's even a world in which Don runs in and picks up more relics. And the thing, like, it was even preordained. The guy legit just walked up with additional scholars like, hey, we think this Don guy sucks and we're going to lose the war. Can we join you? Wasn't suspicious at all. Oh, man. Oh, Lash. Poor sweet Lash. Donald is up to Donald things again. Alright, let's see who else we've got. Oh, thank you, Don. That was something else. Most clickbaitable game you can upload to YouTube? Yeah, but I'm thinking how we, like, do it. I have to have my guy cook with that one. That one was incredible, though. Holy crap. I can't, like... I'm being real. I would just, like... After that, I would have stared into the camera for probably, like, 2 minutes and then just ended the stream. I would have been like, so... That's all I got time for. And get out. Oh, poor Lash. What a brutal game. Thank you, Don, for that incredible treat. All right. I need to put the fan on. It's getting really hot in here. Any of the big names already signed up? A lot of them, actually. Wham, Dumu, Anatan, B, a few other ones. I think we're missing Louis. Puppy Paw might sign up, I believe. And I think Recon might also sign up. I think sort of might be missing. I'd have to double check, though. Also, we need to update the link because that link that popped up, I think, is wrong. Let me double check. Oh my god, though, dude. Don, you're so dirty. And you know it. New tournament already? Of course. We don't rest on our laurels. So it should be this one. I need to talk to Tommy about the naming convention. I don't think I like season 1. I think it's probably better if we just continue from 31. What do you guys think? I think that's probably better. So let me update this. Update it from $300 to $500. Then we have the KPMM timer that needs to get back on. Oh, by the way, guys, if you want to help out the channel, I think, let me just double check. I think we've got a few days left of our Matchmasters integration. It's a game for your phone. Easy peasy little game to play. Probably quite useful when you're just stuck at a boring gathering or whatever. We are literally in the last 24 hours. It's free to download. Downloading it does support the channel. For a start, it actually means that we get paid out more. But also, it allows us to, in the future, get more deals from the same agency. So, if you guys want to support the channel for free, give it a download, try it out. Download it on your phone. Make sure you use our unique link so that it knows that I sent you when you install it. And it's a bit like Bejeweled. But it's PvP Bejeweled. And there is nothing more enjoyable than beginning your day by ruining someone else's ability to win. Oh, man. I'm trying to think. Do we go for more? Sounds more impressive to include the first. That was my feeling. I know, we've been live like almost 4 hours. I might get ready to call it. We can talk a little bit about like KPMM actually. I think it's a good way to go. So guys, yeah, the hub is up. So I'm going to have this updated because I like it looking a bit more sexy. There we go. Yeah, we got it starting to come through. We need to change this part a little bit. The formatting was better last time. But we've increased it now. So it used to be, I think, $125 for first place. And I think second place might have been 75 and then 50-50. So although the numbers haven't like rocketed to the roof for first, second, and whatever, it's because we've dispersed more funding to support more players. So now everyone in the top 8 will get payout. For the love of God, if you're in the top 8 and like you got a decent amount of money, don't ask me to do PayPal. I'm molding every time people ask for PayPal. It's really awkward because of the conversion fees. But yeah, we're going to be paying out 8 per week. So if you get into quarterfinals and you lose, you'll make $25. And then from there, we also are including a third place match in the format now. So third place match is like a $25 difference for a best of 5. It's not too bad. The idea there as well is it gives us a lot more content. So now the way it's going to work is we'll aim to have a semi-finals before grand finals each week, like we always have. But in the event that we are not able to get a semi-finals on the day, that's then where the third place match can come in really clutch as content filler. So for example, if we have a day where we're really, really forward of schedule, where we get, for example, both semi-finals on the Tuesday, then that means on the Thursday, we'd go and do the third place match, and then we do grand finals, which is like BO5 into BO7, which is nice. But the other way it plays out that I really love is in the event that we like have a semi-finals into grand finals, that means what happens to the third place. The third place is still going to happen, but then we'll look to do it on the Friday, right? So we'll cast it on the Friday, which means we get a nice kind of like robustness of content where like sometimes on Friday, due to either the matchups being very stompy or just not many people scheduling early on the day, we kind of lack content. So it actually like plays quite nicely there. So this is the format we're going to be like optimizing around now. We might look to alter it a bit as time goes on. I originally was contemplating like a double Elim bracket type style where like someone can make a comeback from the quarterfinals or semifinals or whatever. But like the problem with that is that it just like we're an open scheduling format, and adding more stuff in like that is gonna make everything messy. You know what I mean? It's like it's the same thing with why we have all the rule book and everything on one page on StartGG. It's like the more points, the more avenues of like confusion you offer up, the more people get confused. Like we literally just had this on LAN in Denmark, where in the grand finals of an S tier tournament, the wrong version of a map was used. Why? Because 2 versions existed. I have already reached out to Biddlen about deleting the old version, by the way, because it's like that confusion needs to be dealt with. By the way, we have got reactions. Oh man, this is going to make me either very happy or very sad. Look at the face.
No way.
Look at oh my god, my throat needs to be cleared. I sound like I'm dying. Oh, bless. Dude, Lash, it's like... What do you say? What do you say to that? Hey, how you feeling? Oh, bless him. You have to take that in good spirit. Like, what else do you do, man?
Ich habe 5 Mangen, die da drauf schießen und die schaffen es nicht, die Brille.
Oh, shout out to Lash. Even when it happens, the dude has a smile on his face. Such a wholesome lad. Oh, man. But yeah. But with the KPMM, like I said, I'll probably talk to my guy about changing it, because like, it does look odd here, because you have, you know, number 29, number 30, and then it's like Season 2, Week 1. Because my other thing that I said to them, like, might get a bit weird, is like acronyms going to get confusing. Because you'll have it, end up being like KPMM S2 number 1 sort of thing. Whereas just having KPMM 31, KPMM 32, KPMM 30. And also, it sets us up for a remarkable achievement if we get renewed again next year, where we can be like celebrating the 100th edition or whatever. I believe this is also like, if I'm not mistaken, what ESL Open Cup done. Right? Yeah. They just kept firing on through, didn't they? I think that's nice. Because also the cool thing about seeing that is like it shows a lot of continuity to the format, which is really cool. Why am I not uploading gameplay on YouTube? What are you on about? We upload gameplay all the time. Huh? Oh, I think we didn't have a post yesterday and maybe today. Let me check in. Let me check in with my editor. It's been 2 days. I mean, I'm checking my editor now. Like, you have VODs anyway, so I will say that. Like, there's always content. KPMM 100th editions must be played with cheats on. Nah, dude, we'll just, like, take whoever's the most accomplished person in the KPMM history, and then they'll have to do, like, a marathon facing off against all the best players. The KPMM bang. That's what we'll call it. But yeah, so this week, by the way, default map is going to be Canal. Nah, I'm kidding. Default map is going to be Dry Arabia. We just, like, I wanted to keep it tame for the first edition to let people settle in. When we done our first run through, we done Socotra because it's like, yo, this is wild, come check this out. But now people, like, more understanding, established with it. They know the gist of it. I want to give people, like, you know, shoes back on type feeling first. And then the interesting addition outside of the, like, normalities of, like, things you would see either in tournaments or on ladder is we have got front range, which I felt was appropriate with the King of the Rockies qualifiers at the end of the month. I thought it'd be good to give people an environment to practice that map on. And then we'll likely look to use front range as a default map in an upcoming week. So for those that have not seen KPMM before, the idea here, single elimination, we have a 7 map rotation. There's a default map every week. Every series will start with that map. And then what we typically do is every other week we'll typically pull out 2 maps and put 2 new maps in. And that's to kind of keep things fresh, keep things evolving. It's a great way of testing new maps. I've already got my eyes on 1 or 2 new maps that we'll probably look to use. And if people are developing more maps, I'm always like including new maps. Like I constantly, the moment I see new maps, I'm like, I'm loading it up. I'm discussing it with my admin of like, is this viable? Does this work? And if it does, it goes in. Right? Like I just noticed Caillou, like for example, put another new map in called Bazaar, which could be interesting. And I think he's had some other uploads recently. So I've got my eyes on those. There's potential for some of them to come through. As Caillou knows, I'm very quick to use a lot of those maps. Need my boy Avali to start contributing more. Like, of course, he just made Front Range. But, like, Caillou, I think, by far is, like, the most active map creator now. Well, we have Merchant nothing in the map pool. Oh, no. I mean, like, no cap. I did kind of consider it, but it's like it's a bad idea. It's a funny idea, and I'd probably do it in, like, Hymns Cup or something else like that we do. But for KPMM, I don't think it should be there. KPMM is like, I'm not going to say we don't have meme for maps occasionally, but like not to that extreme, right? Like whereas Hymns Cup, we literally had a map shaped like a penis. You know? Any idea about new DLC, bro? There's a new DLC coming. There you go. I mean, like, I've already talked about some ideas of what I'd like to see and what I think we could see. I think getting another Indian rep civ, maybe like a variant civ, would make a lot of sense. I still really rate the idea of getting Mesoamerican and South American civs in alongside the Iberian civs, i.e. Portugal and Spain. I'm shocked it hasn't happened already, and I'd be shocked if it's not on the radar. Because that to me is like a big W. You include like 3 campaigns or so, and it's perfect. Outside that, I agree. We need co-op mode. I think like the biggest sleeper element that we still have is like no co-op mode. StarCraft 2 got completely revitalized by co-op mode. If it wasn't for co-op mode, that game would have been like, I think in the gutters a lot earlier. I think even like StarCraft, like, 1v1 obsessives understand just how important co-op was to making that game survive. Co-ops and campaigns, and also good modding tools are so much more important for us in Age of Empires 4 than just like add new civ, add new map. Definitely add new civ, sure. But like if we don't start bolstering those other elements, I think you have a very big issue with converting people from casual to like sweat. So yeah, fingers crossed the devs have that in mind. Will there at some point be a KPMM All-Stars from first season? Decide who won the first season? That would be nice, but I think that comes down to like the same thing we talked about before. Like we need to hit a high enough number so that I can go and get sponsorships to do that outside of the funding. Because we've got $20,000 in funding across 40 weeks. That's $500 a week. Like, I can't... Like, what do I do to make a KPMM happen? A KPMM is probably going to have to be, like, what? $2,500 to $5,000 on, like, a one-week event or something? Where's that money coming from, right? I don't have that money, right? Like, I usually talk very transparently about this. I don't make enough, like, off of content creation alone to get by. Every once in a while, maybe you have a good month of sponsors is feasible, but, like, there's other things I have to do to sustain a living. Like, and, the interesting thing is, like, doing those things then obviously takes away from some revenue generation of my content. That's why subscribing helps, of course, but also sharing the streams around. Like, if we get to a point where we're 800, 900, 1,000 average viewers, it becomes a lot easier for us to then go get sponsors to go and do additional events, which is what I want to do. Maybe crowdfund All-Stars? Quite possibly. We'll see how it goes, like, midway through. Like, I don't mind crowdfunding, but, like, ideally, in my mind, the better way is to be in a position where we are able to, generate enough viewership to get revenue from sponsors. Yeah, but there's a very big difference between, like, what we do in, like, a LAN in Germany. What's happening? I keep getting pink squares. I think it's because I updated my graphics card to like an experimental driver. And it's probably being very weird. So I'll have to look into that. Historical battles are cool, but far from replayable. Exactly. Like, dude, like, here, let me show you this. You ready? You guys see the number of hours I got there? 31.6 hours. Now, I'd probably equate like 4 of them to like AFK because I go and do something, maybe 5. That's still at least a solid 25 hours on a game that costs... How much is it? £12? It's like $15. Right? And why? Because the replayability, like the different things I can do, going through and doing runs again and again and again and again. By the way, I'll probably give away... I think we'll look to probably give away a key of that on like Thursday. The dev sent me 1 or 2 keys. So we'll probably look to give someone a key of that. But like that game has replayability. It's so valuable. Oh yeah, I don't have NVIDIA. I'm on like AMD. So laptop that runs all production is NVIDIA. Then the PC is playing all the games at the highest frames, whatever, is AMD. I am waiting to see AMD like launch some graphics cards for laptops because they don't currently have any. I think they'll probably slap pretty nicely. Like I actually think that's a pretty logical play for them next. So we'll see. All right, but guys, I think we've been live now. What, 4 hours? Not too bad. And sorry, it's a little bit later than usual. It's just I had to sort the KPMM things. Like I think everything is mostly in place now. I was tempted to play some Stormgate, and I think I probably would have if we were like on a bit earlier. I probably would have if we were. But I guess I'll have to check that out another day. Like I'm looking at the directory now. It's like it ain't great for its launch. It's okay. It's got I think 2.4k people in the directory. So I guess that's not too bad. My boy's back to Warcraft are playing through the campaign right now. The only reason I'm like skeptical about like this being good enough viewership, guys, do you want to know why like 2.4k is not that impressive? You ready? See that right there? Drops. Drops is like a viewership farmer, by the way. Like actually the dream of a lot of content creators to get to the point where you get invited to these events and get drops. Did you guys see Tim's viewership on Battlefield? Tim on the Battlefield, the new Battlefield 6 reveal event, I think he had like 50, like 30, 50, between 30 and 50k on YouTube live. But he had like 80,000 on Twitch. And a really big part of it would have been the drops. Like the drops is like a huge magnet. Trust me, I know. When we done Throne and Liberty on launch last year, our average viewership for those streams was like 600 plus people because of drops. Drops is really, really handy for that. Yeah, so like, it's not bad they got this viewership, but I was maybe expecting it to be more towards like 6, 7, 8k with drops. But we'll see how they do. I think if I remember correctly, the campaign is meant to be free to play for the first 3 or 4 missions, I think is what they said. But guys, I think what we're going to do now, you guys remember good old Nathanias. We're going to get ready to raid him. I'm going to get ready to wind down. If you're watching on Kick or YouTube, we will be back on Thursday. KPMM starts up on the Friday, so buckle yourselves in, boyos. The $20,000 tournament is just a few days